What's up, Bandidos? Tux here, and I have your back, covering the Division 2 Daily to help you milk every bit out of what this game has to offer. And today, we're going to be covering rifles for max distance and max power. And we have a few surprises for you too. Let's go.
Accept it, Division. This is a war you can't win.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
Division 2 in your life with Tux. What's going on, Banditos? Here we are for another Saturday night stream. One of my favorite streams of the week to do because we get such a beautiful audience from all over the world. And I love my mix of Banditos all in the same place. So glad to be here. And I hope you are too. And I got a really good stream for you too. And by now you probably already know that the rifle class is a major contender in this game. Probably the best class in this game when it comes to power, distance, and having just a well-rounded build and weapon. As a matter of fact, this particular weapon class hosts the most powerful weapon in the game when it comes to DPS, and we all know what that one is, and that's the classic M1A, or also known as the Baker's Dozen when you get the named version with Lucky Shot. So these are very common weapons. You probably have your own favorite rifles, but today we are going to review the full gamut of rifles, and there's a lot of them that do what we're asking, so it's actually a very tough category to review, but after it's all said and done, we have a list and we have a few surprises to give you as well in regards to which ones can do some really amazing things for you that are new to me. These concepts, after going through this full test, I've discovered myself some new rifles that I never thought would be amazing, and I've been playing this game for a really long time, so hopefully you learned something new today too. Let's make sure we do a little housekeeping before we jump into the build stuff. But I want to say first, if you like what I do and you want to support me in the Division 2, make sure you hit that like right now. Just get it out of the way. Smash it, smash it, smash it. And subscribe to me if you haven't done that. Also, the latest build is the strongest AR build in the game. The link to that is in the description area below. Also, there is a new classified build is out. It's called Collateral Damage, and that one is absolutely amazing. And as of this morning or yesterday, I can't remember now, I think maybe yesterday, the latest gamer music playlist that I put out has been released, and that's for hardcore banditos. So the link to that is also in the description area below, and you can find all of this the Texas Players Club content also by going over to my YouTube homepage, and there's a playlist right at the top. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, classified builds are secret builds that are made just for Texas Players Club. These are truly extra builds I make as a thank you for supporting me in all the ways that you guys do and this entire community. So if you want to get access to these top secret, really cool builds, but support me in the community at the same time, all you gotta do is click that join link right there at the top of the chat feed. It's also in the description area, and if you're watching this on a replay, it will be posted in the comment section below as well. Okay, big day. So who's joined us today? I think we got all the homies. OG Dancing Bear is first. What up, OG Dancing Bear, coming out of Florida? He's been by my side as I've been exploring a lot of these. Also, we have Biko in the house. What up, Hardcore Bandido and Axiom 83? What up, my man? Xander Nicholas out of the Caribbean. What's up? Zero Regrets. T Patrick. What up, bro? And Blake Morris. What's going on, guys? All right. So, lots of rifles. But let's just make sure we understand the rules, okay? So, here's the rules. So, in order for this to make sense, what we're talking about is max power at max distance, okay? So, there's DPS, right? Damage per second. But DPS is going to be, it's a little harder to gauge for what we're doing right now. And one of the reasons, I just gotta admit, is just because we got rifles of all sorts of quality, okay? So, like, you know, there's so many rifles in this game, like I don't even have enough resources to optimize all of these, you know what I mean? And so I would love to do that, but I just can't. So I can't do a true measure of DPS at range with these. But also the other thing is, the DPS measure is only here in the range, and the range only goes to 50. But in order for this test to be legitimate, what we're going for is actually 100 meters. So that's the max range in this game, apparently, is 100 meters. And so anything over that, your bullet just disappears into the mist. All right, so 100 meters is the test. So the first thing, in order for a rifle to be on this list, it has to be able to reach 100 meters, okay? And so you'd be surprised on like the Nemesis doesn't reach 100 meters, for example, you know, like, so exotics aren't part of this, all right? So these are just weapon variants, right? So I'm not even measuring exotics, but if there was an exotic that hit max power range, it would be on this list. But part of it, there's a lot of factors in this, and the rifle class is a really difficult one to measure. But I want to let you know, you got base weapon damage, you got RPMs, you got mag size, really important mag size, especially for rifles, because some of them have really low mags, like the M1As, right? And you actually need, if you're let's just put it this way, the farther your target out, the more misses, which is gonna lead to more reloading. Okay, so smaller mags will be really frustrating for you, right? So the Baker's dozen helps with that a little bit. So anyway, so we got range. Now we're gonna have some damage drop off, but that's okay because we are gonna be measuring power at distance, right? So even if there's a damage drop off, for example, like in this M1A here, but look at this one, that's peaked out. That's almost about as good as it gets. You can actually get better than that. Actually, I think I have one better than that. So let me see, which one is it? Is it this one? No, yeah, it might be this one. So you can get these better, and then these are adjusted for the thing, but look at that. But I've played it down. So you can get these peaked out. You can actually peak this out if you want to. Actually, I think that that Baker's dozen can get peaked out. Yeah, I think it can. Nope, it's peaked. So that's all you can do. It's missing mods and whatever. But anyways, that's just an example. So in a perfect world, we have a straight line all the way across, and there's one or two of these I actually get there. Straight line at 100 meters. But it doesn't make it the best because, again, it's there's really three major components, right? Weapon handling. You got to be able to achieve the distance, right? And then you got to have you have to have the max power at that distance, and then high damage, let's just put it that way. And then you got to have really good handling. So if the weapon sucks at handling, right, then there's no point. There's no point if you can't land your shot, because the farther your target is out, then the harder it is going to be to land that shot. But and all of these are going to operate a little bit different on the handling. Okay, so just to get it out of the way, oh, let me show you here. I'm sorry, I had the wrong thing. Wrong thing on. Let's blow that picture up a little bit so you're not always looking at my face. Thanks, JD Glad. Appreciate that. Sorry about the delay there. And welcome to the stream as well, Monteze, El Rukin, and Blake Morris. What up, boys? Welcome. Okay, so we got there's a couple of different ones. So we're gonna start with the strongest, okay, and then work our way down the list. But there's a lot to learn from this, okay? So don't take this list too hard to most, because we got some big surprises. Let me show you the build right now. This is a classic build, just a classic rifle build, right? Strongest one in the game, maybe. And so it's got Fox's Prayers, because these are rifles with crits on it, right? We got Contractor's Gloves for that damage to armor with crits on it. This is all red. We got a Grupo backpack with Vigilance, full crits, it's standard build. We got Perfect Glass Cannon, the Sacrifice, right? Full of crits. We got an improvised holster here, so for more crit damage. If you don't have one of these, you can do Walker. And then we got the Coyotes. This is actually a really important piece, probably will stay on all of my rifle builds. And the reason why is because we're playing over 25 meters, right? And so this saves us a lot of slots on crit chance, with that we'd have to roll in the crit chance. So, and by doing that, this frees up our mods on our rifles, right? So it's gonna allow our rifles to be able to take things like stability mods or more bullets or things like that that it actually needs. And that's because we're relieving ourselves of crit chance. So, or we can put on more crit damage mods on these things. But let's look at the crits just so you know. So add 25% to that, and that's where we're always going to be. So we're gonna be at 59% crit chance, all right? We got 196% crit damage at its base, and if the enemy pulls in, we're gonna pull up by 25%. up to 25%. We got 110% headshot damage, 8% armor regen, and we got damage to targets out of cover that doesn't show up here, right? And then stability is going to be it's an important factor, okay? Stability is especially at range. It's a very important factor. And same with reload time and all that other stuff, but it's going to be a variable depending on the rifle that we use because they all have different stabilities, but that's the thing. And then, you know, this is all standard on the defense side. We're not worried about that. But so you know, once we get through the rifles, we're gonna get out of the standard rifle build, right? And so I've been playing with rifles a lot, and I can tell you when it comes to playing Legendary and like Roosevelt Island, we've been playing that a lot over the last week, and you get really pinned down with rifles, right? You need to pop your head out and you need to put out some quality shots at range. And if you're always pinned down, I mean, those chungas pin you down and everybody's pinning you down, you can't get out to pop a shot, it becomes really difficult. So I'm coming up with some alternate builds for Legendary that give you like really good regen. And it's nice to do because these rifles that we're looking at all have really nice power on them, right? They're all basically hitting over 1 million. So, you know, that gives you a lot of wiggle room to add on some armor and some armor regen and repair skills or whatever you want to do, whatever it is. So okay, so let's go ahead and let's go back into the live testing room and where I'll show you what you're at. So one of the things we want to put on all of these rifles is the optimal range and then Ranger. Okay, so Ranger is a really important talent for what we're doing. So it's going to give us 40% amplified damage when we're at max range, and we're going to be trying to do that all the way through. And if you've been following this series, we did this for the assault rifles and we did this for the snipers. For this series, you can see that you can have fun with this, and like even on control points or in Legendary, and start playing deep in your gameplay, and you can clear out the entire control point without ever even stepping into it. That's what this is going to allow you to do. So Rangers will get, when you're playing that deep, will give you up to 40% amp damage and then everything in between, right? And so optimal range is going to allow us to pick up some more damage at those farther distances. Okay, so so we got this set to, so we are limited, so it's only going to be giving us 20% amplified damage, and technically it's a little bit less because as you can see from where we're standing, we're actually at am I holding the baker's dozen? I must be. Yeah, I'm actually at 49 meters. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm actually at 49 meters, but I'm not going to adjust. And so all of these were measured at 49 meters, but so the one that has the highest damage in the game and is no surprise is going to be the M1A Classic. So this is the Baker's Dozen. It's number 2, no surprise there. And the Classic M1A is number 1 in the game for damage at range. And it's actually really good. It's actually pretty good, I gotta say. You know, it's not one of my favorites. I'll tell you that right now. It's not one of my favorites, but there's no denying that it's strong. It's even received nerfs from the devs, and it's still the strongest. But this should create around 4.3 million. There it is, almost 4.4 million. You see that? So, but it's actually relatively stable. Really stable. You know what I mean? So, if I let go of the thumbstick, so I got no thumbs on, so I'm just gonna span the trigger and let's see how much it climbs. It will have a little bit of a climb. Mostly a bounce, but I'm just spanning the trigger. But it's a climb to the up and to the right, right? But it's manageable. But over time, it's gonna sway. So, but the good news is, and the further your target, the more dramatic even the slightest bump is, right? So at 100 meters, that's an inch is a big miss, right? So so that means after every shot, you're gonna be making minor adjustments to try to get back onto center, which means the slower you can actually put shots out. That aside, okay, the real problem with this rifle is the mag size, okay? And so this is why it does produce the highest damage at the highest range, but the mag size is only 15. I recommend at a minimum of a 20 round mag when you're playing at distances of over 50 meters, okay? And so even in short distances, I mean, if an enemy pushes up on you, I mean, luckily you'll get him killed off, but if you don't have a full mag when he's pushing in on you, the reload time is really bad on this. 2.7 seconds, okay? That's a full second longer than a lot of these other rifles. So that's something that you have to consider. However, it does do the most damage at the most distance. But the more realistic rifle to use is going to be the Baker's Dozen. All right, and so the Baker's Dozen is got Lucky Shot, which means you can spam the trigger. And so for those misses, as long as you're in cover right here, you're not using ammo. So that's gonna minimize your reloads, okay? So you're gonna lose damage, but you're gonna lose almost about 500,000 in damage, which is a lot. So it should create, there it is, 3.763. So from basically 4.4 to 3.7, basically, give or take, right? So, however, it's almost a mandatory. So, because you're at again, the farther your target is out, the more misses you're gonna make, right? Okay, so we're just gonna breeze through that one because I don't think there's any major surprises there, right? What up, Scott Rivera? No, don't worry about the builds. Don't worry about the builds, guys. So don't worry about perfect glass cannon, all right? So don't worry about the build. This is just for measuring. We're gonna change this build as soon as we go out in the field, right? We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna show you some magical things, actually, guys. Like, you remember the surprises that I mentioned? That's in the build. There's a surprise in the build side of things here. Okay, so, but we don't wanna jump ahead. So the next rifle in this class, so basically, the classic M1A with Ranger is the strongest at 100 meters, all right? And then the Baker's Dozen the second. And then the third one, no surprise, is going to be the M1A CQB. So let's just go ahead and put on the other classic M1A here. Okay, again, these aren't God rolls, so don't put too much weight in the damage differences. But the CQB is on the right, and as you can see, it's got a lower base weapon damage. But it's got a little bit more stability, basically the same range. You know, you got an extra mod there too, so that's helping. But everything else, it's got, and it's mostly the biggest, I think, advantage is the higher RPMs, right? That's the biggest thing. You're trading off damage for RPMs. Let's just put it that way. But also a mod. Okay, so this is gonna put out 3.4 million. So it's a step down from the Baker's Dozen. Wait, did I just hit 4.3? I think I said that backwards, didn't I? 4.3. Well, I think I got a different number when I was testing this earlier, actually. Doesn't surprise me. 4.3, actually, that puts it over the Baker's Dozen. This should be number 2. That's my mistake, guys. I don't know why. I must have got a different crit number earlier. Or I wrote it on down backwards when I was testing it. So 4.4. So technically, this is number 2. All right, there you go. So this is above the Baker's Dozen, which I guess doesn't surprise me. And remember, these are gonna get more powerful the farther out they get, right? So we're only getting 20% amp damage, technically a little bit less because we're at 49 meters. But this will give us up to 40% amp damage, so expect more damage with this when you're playing at range. And at Legendary, they do play deep, even in Heroic. So hopefully you've been following along with this testing. So 4.4, that puts the... Oh wait, what the hell? Did I just switch? Okay, I saw the confusion, my bad. Well, okay, scratch all of that. I had the wrong weapon in my hand. They play so similar. Okay, it is at 3.4. Okay, so it's number 3. It's number 3 as expected, okay. They look the same because of the scope, right? I was looking at the scope. Okay, so 3.4 million, so it's number 3 with Ranger, right? Again, same problem. It's literally the same problem, right? It's got too small of a mag, so I had to put the mag extender. Technically, there's an optimal range here. You see that? But you can't use it. You can't use it. You have to have those extra 5 rounds. And so it's technically, you can use it. You might be frustrated with if you use a build like this with this, because there's just gonna be a lot of reloading in your life. This thing just dispenses ammo, right? So there's the Lucky Shot version. So you basically, and this one doesn't have optimal range, so just keep that in mind. So it's a little off. It's the only version I had. So if we use the second one, let's see, make sure we're on the right one. Okay, cool. So now we got a little more ammo, but also less reload, so we can span the trigger a little bit more, right? So Anyway, so that's how you're gonna fix it. But again, you're gonna lose some damage because your Ranger's like really ideal. And with this one, we should get, yeah, it's at 2.8. So that's its peak right there, 2.8 million. So you drop from Ranger, you go from 4.3 to 2.8, but it's actually, I'm sorry, 3.4 to 2.8, but it's actually a lot more because the farther out we go, the bigger that spread is. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when the enemy's at 99 meters, you're gonna get another 20% amp damage. Lucky Shot doesn't scale with distance. It's always gonna be 2.8, 2.8, 2.8, 2.8, 2.8. So Rangers is gonna grow with you. Also, it's gonna shrink if the enemy pulls in. So there's that too, right? Okay, so again, I don't think we're surprised by any of the M1As though, right? I think we've always known the Baker's Dozen or the CQB, you know, these always been on top. And that's kind of the thing about this class, right? The rifles is that they host the two strongest weapons in the game, which are the M1A CQB and the M1A Classic. So that aside, they do what they do. Okay, cool. So from there, we have all of these other rifles, and the tough part about them, guys, is look, they all have different damage numbers, okay? There's different damage numbers, different RPMs, different mag sizes, but they all reach 100 meters, right? So this was without mods, that's why it looks that way, but it reaches 100 meters too. They all reach 100 meters, they just have different drop-offs. And so basically, you know, but some of them don't work. So from there, so after you get outside of the M1A CQBs, you start looking for power, right? But this, now you're looking at things, you're gonna have to put things more, are gonna be more balanced. So you, again, with the M1As, you're gonna have to run Lucky Shot. Let's just say it is what it is. And if just get out there and use it, try not using Lucky Shot, and you're gonna be irritated. So the downside is that's the downside, but they put out the most damage, even with Lucky Shot. From there, you got things like the lightweight, the LBOA, that's the M4. You got the military MK17. This M16 doesn't really do the job. It's more of a burst damage weapon, which kind of scatters your bullets a little bit. Then you got the Resolute MK47, which actually works really well at range, and I'm not a fan of that weapon. And then you got the SIG. Okay, so lots of weapons. So I'm gonna go through this as quickly as possible in order of how I rank them, and the ranking is based on power at distance. So first it's got to reach the distance, and then it's got to have some power over distance, and then handling is the third factor outside of that. Okay, and so the next one on the list is the military the military MK17. Now it might be that the police is actually better. Okay, the problem is that I don't have, you know, a really good version of the police with the right setup. It needs to have, you know, optimal range and ranger. So keep that in mind. The police might be better, but let's just call it the MK17. All right. So I'm testing off of this one, and of course it's not God rolled. So this one is gonna put out about 2.5 million plus, because, and the plus is because it's not God rolled, but it handles really well. So it's got to bounce, okay? But look at those RPMs. I mean, boom. I mean, that's 50 meters, guys, right? So it's got a little bit of bounce, but it returns to 0. And that's what we want. And so if I take my finger off the thumb, which I'll do here in a second. So first I'll mark the shot, okay? Mark the shot, and then my fingers are off the thumb. It returns to 0. You see that? So, see how it's still critting? Okay, so that's my finger off the thumb. I'm not touching the right joystick. And so there's a little bit of sway, but once you mark your shot, so you got to mark your shot first, right? Mark it and then span the trigger, right? Mark it, span the trigger. Finger off the thumb, you're still seeing crit. So there's, of course, it's missing some of those shots, but it's still returning to 0. And so that has to do with how fast you're firing. If I slow down my shot and wait for that barrel to drop, then it would land more of the shots. So this is my point is, this is the MK17 is a contender, you know? So if you're looking for a high power with RPMs, then 274, and look at the mag. I mean, that's 40 in the mag, and look at the stability on that thing, right? So 2.5 million plus with this bad boy. Amazing. And I think the police one's got a really cool skin, and so we can make that stability even better. We can improve the reload speed. You don't need that many rounds. I mean, 40, the rounds that we had, what was it, 40? Yeah, I mean, that's just too many really. I mean, I'm happy with when you're playing at the ranges that we're playing, I'm happy with 20 rounds. 20 rounds is great. So 40 rounds is even better. So if you rather have the rounds, it's fine. But the reloads aren't bad enough to where it's like reloading every 20. I'm doing that on average anyways, just so you know. Like, I'm sort of a habitual reloader. So when I go in cover, because I'm getting pinned down or shot at or whatever, I'm reloading just by default. So really good one. So we're gonna be using this one out there in the field. So let's see, the next one on the list stepping down is this one, which is a big surprise. Actually, here. I've never used this rifle. I don't know if you guys have. What up, CD? Hey, Ran, what's up? In the house, Mr. Detective. All right, so I've never used this one. Has anybody used this rifle? UIC 15 Mod 2. Holy shit, this one cracked my brain. So actually, this was the first one that I went to. Look at that optimal range. Wait, okay? Let me show you something. You can pull in another 30% optimal range from this mag. And you want to. Look, it's got 30 rounds as a base. So I don't want any more bullets. You don't need any more bullets. Okay, I know you want to have the largest mag, but when you're playing at distance with rifles, you don't need it. You don't need it. No, you will, and I'll demonstrate that when we're in gameplay. 20 rounds is perfect. It's perfect at 20 rounds. 30 is great. I'm happy with 30. This one's got 30 rounds. It's got 30 rounds. If I can push it to 50. You see that? I don't want 50 rounds in this rifle. That's crazy. I'm gonna be reloading all the time. I'm gonna be reloading every 20 shots guaranteed. All right. So you can get more optimal range. That's amazing. So right now I have more crit damage just because, and the reason why I have that is because I have sharpshooter set, and it's like for this demonstration, it's really annoying to go and change back and forth. But there's a lot of weapons that take that mag. So if we look at this lightweight here, this one does it too. You see that? 30% optimal range. You can do that with a lot of these. That's a cool mag, guys. Really cool mag. Didn't think I'd ever use it, and here it is. But going back to this weapon, holy shit, it's a laser beam. So maximum stability, very low reload, huge mag, maximum optimal range. This thing is amazing. Okay, so I got optimal range, accuracy. It's got a full set of mods on it, right? So really cool. So let me show you, this thing is a laser. So scope in, just boom, 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 boom. So it's got a little artificial bounce there, but it does really well coming back on target. Now it's faster than M1A, right? So the M1A is at 180. This is at 240 or whatever. And so this one I went to a lot. Right at the get-go, out of the gate, I went to this one because you can just land a lot of headshots. Remember, it's gonna get stronger. The farther the enemy is out, then the stronger, the more damage you're gonna be putting out. So it's important that you're landing your target. So stability is very important, okay? So yeah, so this is number 6 on the list. And the reason why it's number 6 is just because it's got a lower base damage than the MK17, or it's putting out less damage than MK17. So compare by about 25,000, maybe, give or take. Now it's not God rolled. Neither of these are God rolled. So, but that's the reason why. But the RPMs are pretty close. And I think it's got a larger, it's got a larger mag than the MK17. It's a very interesting rifle. When you're farming rifles, don't toss this one away because you might like it. The downside of it, okay? The downside of it, look at that, just a laser beam on the head at 50 meters. You can do this at 100 too, I'll show you. But the downside of it is that when the RPMs are low, so like when the enemies press you, you know what I mean? It's just like, it takes, you know, your time to kill is a little slower when the enemies are in your face, you know? And so I don't use the other thing, I don't recommend the 30x or the 8x scope on these. You can, and run focus, which is great, and we might even try that in the field. But I like the flexibility of being able to, when an enemy presses you, you can go in and go out, go in and go out. But also, this is giving us 20% optimal range. That's a lot, that scope, and it gives us a nice field of view. So really cool rifle. That's number 6 on the list. All right, now number 7 is actually my favorite. So number 7 is the SIG. There we go. Now it's actually got a lower base damage. It's putting out less damage than number 8 on the list. Okay, the number 8 on the list. I'll go ahead and put it on real quick on the second slot. Is a lightweight M4. Okay, so this is putting out lower damage than the lightweight M4. Okay, if we just look here, and some of that is going to be because of it's not God rolled, right? But the lightweight M4 has got a higher RPM, which is pretty interesting too. But the reason why is it's its handling. The CQB, it is my favorite of the entire group. Here it is. So here's the CQB. And the reason why it's got the perfect balance between handling, mag size, RPM, and damage at range. It is amazing. It's amazing. Look at that reticule. It doesn't move. It's my favorite one out of all of them. It's amazing. It's amazing. Look at that. So if you're unaware, this is the same rifle as the artist tool. Okay. But you don't really want to use rifleman. I love rifleman, but you don't want to use rifleman for what we're doing because we're playing at extreme ranges, which is 100 meters. But I've always loved the rifleman, the artist tool. I've always loved that. It's actually the rifle that got me into rifles. So I used that a long time before I started using the M1A. Just because the handling. Try this, guys. You're gonna love it too. And OG Dancing Bear had one, and when I was farming rifles, he was like, "Oh, you got to check out the SIG that I'm using. You're gonna really like it." And when I finally got one, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. The RPMs are perfect too. I mean, beautiful RPM. So let's just look at the last one I ran, which is, the weird named one, which had amazing handling. This one. So look at the difference, right? The SIG has got, what is that, 60, 80 more RPMs. That's a massive amount of RPMs in rifle language. So it's amazing. A little less damage, but way higher RPMs, and I can do a lot with that RPM buff. Amazing, amazing. So this one is Tux's favorite. If you want to know what's your favorite out of the group, it's this one, ranking in at number 7 for total damage, right? It's ranking at a number 7 for total damage, but the handling is so well. You guys know me, and RPMs are really well, and I really like that in my weapons. I like to land my shots. And so I land more shots with this than I do the M1As, but the M1As are no doubt amazing. But you just hone in on that head, and the targets are moving, so obviously things become more challenging in the real world. So that's my favorite. So let's swap to this bad boy. So this one is the lightweight M4, which is actually a really good one. Okay, and so we got stability, we got more stability. We needed a lot of stability on this one. Notice the stability is lower. So let's do a comparison between the two. So the lightweight M4 is on the left. Look at the stability differences. That's massive, right? So lower optimal range, higher accuracy, lower stability. You really need that stability, and you're gonna feel it. So let me reload here. But watch the barrel. Watch the recoil. So it bounces a lot more, right? It's not horrible, but for me, the thing is, the farther that target is out, so we're only hitting at 49 right now. If that target is at 99, you're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna be like, I'm missing so many shots. Okay, and that's with me controlling it. If I take off my finger off the controller, it sort of takes a little bit of a walk. It's not horrible though, but it goes up. So that's ranked at number 8 and hits at 2.3 million on crit. Let's get a good crit there. There it is, 2.269. A little harder to handle, but not bad at all. A lot of people really like that one. Okay, and then beyond that is going to be the Lovac LVOAC, and this one's actually a really nice rolled one. So if we compare it to number 2 here, so we got, these are actually really close, but the N4 is better. Okay, so M4, it says it's got worse stability. I don't know why, but for some reason it feels actually better to me. But it's got more damage. The LVOA has got higher RPMs. That's typical. Higher RPMs, less damage. And then they're pretty much the same everywhere else, So let's see what we got for mods. So we got stability, optimal range, more stability, and more optimal range. So let's try this one. All right, and so this one's kind of the same issue. It's a little bit more bounce to the ounce. You see that bouncing? It's a bounce up and to the right, and that's a pain in the ass for me. So it makes it hard to land headshots. But not the worst gun in the game at all. But that's that bad boy. Okay, that's number 9. And number 10, and we're gonna stop at 10, okay, is the Urban MDR. Let's actually switch this to that and then pull in the Urban MDR. Now I'm putting this on the list. And there's more. The MK747 is actually nice. I just didn't really love it. You got the SOCOM M1A. It's like just a weaker M1A, so it was too middle of the road to rate it. But here's the Urban MDR. Actually really cool. So let's look at the mods. It's got a massive mag. So, I mean, and I took the bullets off because I'm happy for 20. So I chose to go with stability, and look at that stability. But you can put on another 20 rounds and push it to 40. But I'm happy with 20. And so you got stability here, optimal range, and optimal range. Now this one's got more of a damage drop off, and that's why it's not number 1 and why it's number 10. Okay. So let's find that head. Boom, fast, really fast. And that's why it's on the list. That's why I made the list. It's because it's the best one of the fastest class. There's a bunch of rifles out there that are really fast, right? And so this one's got 360. And so it's sort of made to play in more tight, okay? Like it's designed to play in like, you know, like inside 50 basically, but be able to reach 50 and 100 if you wanted to. But it's designed originally to, you know, to kind of be a little closer to the assault rifle side than instead of the MMR side. So let's just, right, like we're all aware that rifles are basically a crossover between MMRs and assault rifles. They're playing that role. They're filling in that gap, right? So what do you guys think? Any of you guys using any of these rifles? I mean, or any of you guys still using the M1A? Anybody using any of these? Are any of these a surprise to you? Like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you have discovered that the SIG is actually pretty amazing. So this is also what the Ravenous is made out of. They use this to make the Ravenous. If you didn't know. Hey Tony, what's up? Moses, what's going on? MDR is clutch. He knows what he's talking about. Moses knows what he's talking about. The MDR. Okay, so I'm gonna open up my game. So if anybody wants to join, because we're gonna do some demonstrations here in the world. So let me go ahead and I am already open. Okay, so I am open. So if you're online, you want to jump in, feel free to do so. So and we're gonna change the build up. Okay, here's the eye opener. So I promised you there's an eye opener surprise in here. Okay, and it's silly, but it's amazing. Okay, so we're running this amazing glass cannon build, right? And I love glass cannon. Some of you hate it, some of you love it, right? But here's the thing, right? If you put on braced, it levels the playing field. So we're gonna swap to this brace, okay? Now, don't pay attention to the crits right now because I got 2 Gruppos on right now in the backpack, but holy shit, okay. This was a game changer. So this levels the playing field. It makes look at that. Holy shit, it doesn't move. Now, braced isn't new, okay? Braced is not new. But what I'm trying to tell you here is that I use brace all the time. I use brace on LMGs. I use brace on assault rifles. I use brace even on shotguns. And I use brace on snipers, right? But I've never seen braced affect a weapon class like it does on rifles. And I almost never use brace on rifles before. I can't remember a time that I have, to be honest with you. Okay, and so when I run rifles, I'm always doing something like probably glass cannon or focus or something like that, okay? So I'm always using something else. Braced is a game changer for your rifle. F off glass cannon, screw glass cannon, screw focus. I like focus though, but this is the major game changer, okay? It is turning this rifle that I would normally not consider into an absolute laser beam. 300 and what is this RPM? 360 RPMs. What up, boys? And then look at it. It's just a laser beam. What else does it fix? What else does brace fix, guys? It fixes the M1A. So look, I could run the classic M1A, okay, with the Ranger. And so part of the problem with these weapons is the handling is now horrible in the first place of these, but now it's even more of a laser beam, right? So it's even easier to land those targets. But remember I told you what the problem was with the M1As, right? Small mags, horrible reload. And what does brace do? Gives you weapon handling. What does weapon handling do? It doesn't increase the mag, but it increases the reload time by 45%, right? So it's gonna cut that almost in half. So, but that didn't excite me. I'm like, okay, so it works. It made the M1As actually amazing, you know? But now I can even, this LVOAC is actually my least favorite out of the 10 that I showed you. And look. Come on, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Okay, now we're in this at 100 meters. That means even more, because why? Why don't we need glass cannon? Because we got Ranger. And we're playing deep. That's up to 40% amp damage. And it's a variable. It's gonna change on you, but it really is a strong talent. If there is a weapon to use Ranger on, in my opinion, it's the rifles. And the reason why is because it's the best talent is for rifles, not even for snipers, because snipers, you don't need it because you got headhunters. You don't need that extra power. You don't. I like it though. But look at that. That's the worst. So I just showed you 10 rifles. That's the worst one. And not based on damage. It's the worst one based on handling. That's the worst handling of the 10 that I showed you. And I can just wail on that head. Okay, let me go to the SIG. And I'm not done showing you the surprises. Let me show you the SIG. So here's the SIG, which was already a beast at handling, right? Absolutely no movement. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so what's the big deal about that, okay, is that it's not only you're landing more shots, which means you put out more damage, it's all better DPS, okay? And then we're playing at range, so that the stability is even more amazing. But what that does, so it opens up a lot of things. One is that, I got the sun hitting me right on my face, might as well turn off my cam. One is that you can change your mods, right? So like, well, shit, what is my stability on this weapon? I'm at 55% stability plus 45%, so we got 100% stability on the SIG. Well, shit, that means I can, well, what do I want to put on here? You know? Do I want reload speed, put more rounds, headshot damage? I was like, well, shit, I might as well take more rounds. I mean, I don't have any other options. I'd actually prefer something else, but I'll take more rounds. And then now let's check our stability there now, right? Okay, we're still good on stability. So now I can drop the stability mod here. What do we want to put on, right? Well, shit, we don't got much options. So we can put on crit chance, but what does that mean, right? Now we can take one of these crit mods or attributes and roll it to something else. You see what I'm saying? So this brace essentially gives you more power. It allows you to play into Ranger more, and it allows you to swap your mods into more, you know, damage per second or damage over time with the larger mags and crit damage or whatever, depending on what your weapon is. Now, for me, what ended up being the biggest eye-opener was the MKs. Okay, so let me use the military. So what I'm gonna go out there and test for you is we're gonna use the MK. We're gonna use all of them, but the MKs, the biggest surprises that you wouldn't have thought. So we're gonna adjust these the mods for what we got going on. So let's take a look. So we're gonna use the MK first, which is amazing, right? But let's see how well I handle. Look at that, no bounce to the ounce. Holy shit, love it, love it. So plus 20 rounds, you can choose whatever if you don't need stability anymore, right? So this, remember, brace doesn't show up on your weapon stats. So brace is not showing up there. All of that is better by 45%. Now, as far as I know, weapon handling doesn't affect optimal range, so you know. So what do we want? I guess, you know, shit, you know, headshot damage. I mean, okay, I'll just keep the rounds because I don't see a better option. You know what I'm saying? And then down here, I can add more crit damage, right? I don't need stability here. So, I mean, we don't need any of those either, unless we're running those talents, right? So I'll do that. And then we'll keep the optimal range to stay on theme. But cool. And then on the MDR, this same thing. So let's look at it right as it sits. Am I on the MDR? Yeah. Look at this. Wow. Wow. And I have the game mode on with three game modifiers, global directives, and you're gonna see how amazing these things roll. So we don't need this. So I'm gonna change that to crit damage, put on more damage. So we're increasing our damage, right, by doing this. And then let's see, what do we got? I guess I'll take the other additional rounds. I mean, I don't see the value in any of these other things. That's why I'm not using them. But so we're gonna do that. Okay. And the other thing I want to do real quick is I want to change the build for you guys. Okay. So that's one change that we're gonna take. This is gonna stay constant, so we're gonna stick with our Coyote's mask for now. But what I want to do is bring on some defense because we can afford it. We can afford it. So I'm gonna put on a Bellstone to give us a little bit of armor regen. All right. And then I'm gonna put on some Contractor's Gloves with armor regen instead of crits. Okay. And then I'm gonna put on a little defense down here too. Let's start with let me think. Do I want armor on kill? Kind of like armor regen over armor on kill for rifles, just because you're playing in range and you're playing in cover. So we could just boost that armor regen by doing that, right? Or we could put on Bellstone for more armor on kill. Go either way, technically. We can do either way, so I'll start with the armor on kill. Okay, so we got the game mode, 3 mods. I am going to just add a little bit more armor real quick. Because I want to show you guys, like, look, this class is so powerful. You know, like you don't have to go all crazy bam bam. So we need, like, you know, over 30% crit chance officially. So let's make sure I have everything where I need it, and then we'll put that mod on here. Actually, it'd be better to put the mod on the weapons, and then put the crit damage on the build to get more out of it that way. Right? So we're gonna do that there. Boom. And then swip that back to crit damage. We'll get more out of it. And no sacrifice. This is gonna be amazing. You're gonna love it. 33, that's perfect. So that's 58% crit chance, right? 170% crit damage, 95% headshot damage, all right? And then remember, we have Ranger, which is up to 40% amp damage. And then I changed the backpack talent. I didn't say that, but we had Vigilance before, okay? And I'm changing it to Composure. So the idea of the build, we're gonna walk out with that. This is just a starter build. We're gonna evolve this, okay? The idea of the build is that we're gonna be able to take damage while we're putting out damage. That's the idea of the build. And the reason why I'm coming up with this build is because I realized with rifles, in Legendary, like when you're in Roosevelt Island, man, they just punish you. They really do. They punish you for being, you know, and they pin you down, you know? And so it's really frustrating to have to be, I guess, hiding. I mean, there were some times like where I was in Legendary and I was like, I can't even shoot. I got everybody shooting at me. I literally, if I pop my head out, I'm dead. You know what I mean? Especially if you're running glass cannon. And I love glass cannon, but it was like I was being pinned down. Like they kept pinning me down, and it was really frustrating. And so you need to be able to get out, take damage while you're dishing damage with these rifles, especially if you're really good at your job. For some reason, the NPCs tend to target you. But and rifles are play from cover anyways, right? So these aren't run and gun rifle builds. These are play from cover. You're shooting at very far ranges. So here's some enemies. So we got this guardian thing going on, okay? So keep that in mind. But look at, so I can see these enemies are at 63. Which weapon do I have? The MK. Okay, so let's get some elevation here. So we're gonna have a little bit of pains. The Guardians is kind of a tough event, right? Because I can only shoot this guy. These other guys are immune. Oh, here's another one too. So let's take out these targets. Now there's a game buff, so once I get that kill, keep in mind there's a buff. Amazing though. Hey, give me a quick second, guys. Like, I'll be back in one flash. I just gotta fix the sound. It turned off. 1 second. Cool. Revlo, good question, man. Good question. Revlo, so Revlo's asking us why not use the perfect brace talent. And the honest truth is just because it's too much. Like, we got so much stability on here. Look at that stability, okay? It's already a relatively stable weapon, and we're getting a 45% buff on top of that, right? So we don't need it. We don't need the extra 5%. You know what I mean? So this has 45% stability on top of that stability, and it's already a stable rifle. So what was that, 60-70% stability? Does that make sense? But you could, if you want to, go for it. But I chose damage, you know. But that's the main reason why. That's the main reason why. But you don't need it. Try it. Trust me, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I don't need it. You don't need the extra 5%. You're not gonna be able to tell the difference. These are really stable builds that we just created just by adding one. But you guys, I'm sorry, like, if you guys have been using brace on your rifle builds already, then you are some smart mofos. I can't recall a time where I did that, you know? I'm gonna start off with the MK, okay? And then when we get to the second wave, I'm gonna switch to the urban. The urban was the biggest surprise for me because you can go full tilt and just span that trigger on these guys at 100 ranges. Now we got Ranger, okay? So you can see the distance in the bottom left. The farther out, the better. So the farther the enemy is, the stronger we are. And of course, this enemy plays deep. They always run up and then hide and whatever. I'm waiting for my team to show up here. Okay, there they are. So I got 3 directives. Keep that in mind too. And then here we go. Remember, all these weapons are god rolled, so you know, keep that in mind when looking at damage numbers. You can get more damage, and then once the game buff kicks in, so like when we have a yellow arm, we got a little bit of a damage buff plus additional RPMs. So. But the rifle builds, one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight this game mode, so look at that guy in the back. They make the hardest enemies the enemy that you need to shoot all the way in the back in the rifle, which is perfect, right? That's why rifle builds are great for this game, so you can get these hard to reach but critical targets. You see that? Nothing. It was nothing. He was nothing. So that's what I'm saying, like, so use the right, there's lots of builds you can use, like the Pestilence builds will eat through their shields, that's cool. But if you like DPS builds and you want a good DPS build for this game mode, I totally recommend this. Hey, screw you guys. I do recommend the, so you might be wondering, like, hey, why not run the Sawyer's knee pad since you're playing from cover, kind of holding it down anyways? And that's because the crits are gonna pay out more dividends, and we get 25% more crits. Without that, we'd have to load up our build with crit slots all over the place. But this build, holy shit, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I like weapons that land their shots. I gotta say, I mean, look at that. And these Guardians are always playing deep. Look how far these Guardians are, right? And we're shredding them. This isn't even the Baker's Dozen, you know? I mean, the Baker, if you want, I'll show you the Baker's Dozen in a minute. But like the Baker's Dozen does even amazing, right? Even more amazing. Like, it's crazy. Run, I guess, to narrow it down to this one statement, it's that you need to run brace with rifles. It's gonna change your outlook on rifles. It's gonna open up, they all become, it's a neutralizer, basically. They all become realistic. Like, I can run any rifle. So you see how I'm able to take damage while I'm putting out damage. That's my goal here, is to be able to stay out of cover and shoot. So if I had a glass cannon, they'd be breaking my armor a lot and pushing me back in cover. So for that reason, that's another reason why brace shines here. And so the farther my target, the happier I am, right? Because the stronger I get. So, damn, why do I keep getting hit by that car? Who's being mean to me, man? Bullies. So this is the MK17. This is the middle of the road. Okay, this is middle of the road. Meaning like of the 10 that I showed you, the top 10, this is number 5. And ooh, we better get out of here. The first 4 slots are all dedicated to the M1A. So if you're not running the M1A, this is the next best option, is what I'm saying. When it comes to just like maximum power. And then when you run braced, it's amazing. We need a good shot. Oh, both my guys are down. Okay, I can switch weapons now. Okay, switching to MDR, Urban MDR, it's even, actually, with the new brace talent, it became my favorite. Now, for power, it's number 10. So of the top 10, it delivers the least amount of power per shot. But it's RPM and everything in between, but mostly it's RPM and accuracy and everything like makes up for it in a major way. See that? See that? That's what I'm saying. So I guess what I'm saying is the fun factor. Like, I can't get a good shot on this lady. Who's shooting at me? Oh, there's somebody over there. I didn't even see that person. Really good at close ranges too, right? Because it's got that high RPM, so that really helps there. And really good at long ranges, apparently. Babalathy, what up? Yeah, the PTS is still, actually, I think the PTS just closed. Did they just close this phase? I think they did, right? I think the phase just closed, so we have to wait. But yeah, it's still going officially. They're going to be opening up round 3 probably next Friday. So, and then hopefully we see the fine-tunements. I mean, some people have already been creating builds out of the gear, and I've been kind of thinking like, what a waste of time to be showcasing builds out of the PTS. It's like, why not do it like when it's all finalized? It's like, you know what I mean? I mean, as a YouTube viewer myself, I would question that build post PTS launch, like, you know, when we go live and be like, is this build even relevant anymore? And then I'd be like, well, let me change. What did it look like? What did the Heartbreaker set look like, or the Uzina Getica set look like, or the Kingbreaker set look like before the final release? What changed? Did they dampen it? Did they nerf it or buff it? Did they, you know? And then that's gonna put work on the viewer to figure out what was updated. So, you know, it's almost mean. It's almost mean to the viewer to put up builds right now. Like, I'm not gonna show you a build right now. Like, and then in 4 weeks you're gonna have to analyze that build versus, or that pre-release gear set against the final release gear set to see if there was a difference. I mean, like if you're around a lot, then you'll know, but because you know, you might will pay attention like and watch every video that's ever released, but there's a lot of casual players that don't do that, right? This lady's annoying. Leave me alone, lady. She keeps following me. There you go. You gotta be in cover. I forgot about that. Big change when you go in cover. But yeah, so the PTS is almost done. Kelly, what's up? Yeah, that's what I, what up, Sam Dollar? I didn't see you pop in. Yeah, phase 3 is the final. Thanks for answering that, Kelly. Yeah, that's so that for me, to tell you the truth, that's the most important. So I think, you know, if you've seen my approach, it's like, okay, here's what we got, and so I introduced the gear. You know, my way's not the right way. I'm not saying that per se, but my approach has been with the PTS to be like, here's everything that they gave us, right? This is how it reads, and you know, and you need to know if it sucks or not right out of the gate. But the devs do, more importantly, you know, the devs do, right? Because the devs need that feedback so they can change it, and they're going to be making changes to that stuff. And so, which is good. And so, like, the Kingbreaker is making a change, and there's going to be lots of changes. So in phase 3, a lot of those changes are going to be implemented, and then they get another round of feedback, right? And then after that round of feedback, they're going to make more changes, and then we don't get to test those final rounds of changes, right? It'll just be sort of a surprise. Not a surprise, but you know what I mean. They might nerf it again, they might buff it again. You don't know in the end. You know, they're just gonna be like, they get phase 3, and then they get one round of feedback, and then, you know, whatever we get in the end, we'll be like, fingers crossed. Is it better or is it worse? I don't know, you know, but. So are you guys playing this event? Are you playing Guardians? So I actually was never a big fan of Guardians, but with this build, I'm loving it. You know, just rifle build in general. Like, totally recommend rifle builds. Playing at any range build, like a sniper build would actually be pretty cool too. That would work. But anything that you could play at range, and the reason why, if you don't know, and I hated this event, okay? Like I've always previously skipped it, and I even started it late because I knew I was gonna have to like figure out like what build am I gonna have to run with this thing. And so, but the reason why is because there's many situations, many times where the Guardian is way in the back. He's hiding. Maybe it's the drone lady, or maybe it's the RC car lady, you know, or whatever. It's the sniper, and so they're always playing the back. Even if it's not, sometimes it just the Guardian tends to play in the back, and that sucks, right? You're like, oh great, there's 50 invulnerable people between me and the target I actually have to get to, you know. So that's like really annoying to me. So that's why I've always skipped this event. But with the rifle build, or even a sniper build, got plenty of those too if you need a reference. But like, you know, it plays levels the playing field so that you can really shred. So we're running 1.1 million armor, and we're doing really well with it, right? And so what you saw was the MK17 in the first half, and then I switched to Urban MDR. And the Urban MDR with brace turns out to be my favorite. The 360 RPMs, the handling, the large mag, you know, it's just it's number 10 in damage in the list, but it does an amazing job. And Rifleman's a really good talent too, by the way, if you haven't used Rifleman. That's another talk, but like Rifleman is, you know, 55% weapon damage, really good. But because we're playing at deeper ranges, or that's the goal, and we will be doing Legendary today, then you'll see that, yeah, the distance is gonna matter in the end. Okay, let's swap out some weapons. Let's show you guys the full gambit, okay? So we're gonna let's do the M1A CQB with Ranger. Now it's not God Roll at optimal range, but it's pretty good. Let's check our mods because we don't need stability. We do need the rounds. So we will change this to crit chance and keep that at optimal range. Plus 5 rounds. You do need the rounds, unfortunately, with that. Okay, and then for number 2, let's go ahead and put on this the SIG, which is middle of the road. So now we got the SIG is number 7. Actually, let's put on the big surprise one that nobody knows about. Anybody know about this UIC? I'm not sure if anybody mentioned it, but this one was the eye opener. Say UIC 15. Look at its stability, and so this one you don't even need braced with, right? But we got braced, so let's take off the accuracy. We don't need that. Put on crit chance there. We got an extra crit damage mod because it's already got a large mag. We got 30 in the mag. So, wow. This one's really stable, okay? So that's what we're gonna just try out, but you need to try this rifle. Just try it, okay? When you get your drop on UIC 15, just try it, all right? It is so stable, it's insane. All right, and so we are going to this blockade. Yeah, there's gonna be bug fixes too. I haven't been tracking the bug fixes too much. We'll get a list for the final PTS though. I mean for the final release patch notes. There'll be bug fixes. So we're getting new gear. We're also getting the new game mode, right? Sam, are you aware of the new game mode? It's called Countdown. And they did buff it. So my biggest complaint about it in the beginning was that it was too easy. I mean, you can finish in 15 minutes, like basically solo, you know? And so they made it harder. Oh, I shouldn't have pulled in. Yeah, I shouldn't have pulled in. I forgot about the game mode. Let's run. Let's run for our lives. Forgot that they would just be standing there. Okay. Yeah, so the new game mode, I'm actually pretty excited about it. Pretty excited about it. They made it harder. That's good. And I think they'll evolve it over time too. So, you know, this is just round one. Even on release, you know what I mean? Look at that. Okay, so let's hit that guy. He's at 70 meters there. It's so stable, this weapon right now. They're gonna torture us, aren't they? Is that Guardian hiding right there? So yeah, you can definitely spam the trigger bit. So notice, so Braced is making the reload a lot faster, but without Braced, I'd be pretty irritated right now because I'm having to reload a lot with even with Brace, right? Grenader's got to go. But you're playing from cover, so you have plenty of time to reload. So like, also that's what I want to say is like, watch your back, Dancing Bear. I want to say like, you know, don't overdo it on the mag thing. You really don't need these big mags, you know? But 15 is too small. So my recommendation on a minimum, oh, somebody behind me too. My recommendation on a minimum size mag is gonna be 20. Like 15 is a little too small. But if it doesn't bother you to have this many reloads, then that's cool. Brace does make it better. I would have to admit that. Brace does make it better. How did we get such a bad situation, huh? These guys are rough. We played this last night. It was pretty easy. Cleared it. It was like no problem. Come on, dude. See how the guy you need to kill is always hiding. You end up like chasing him down like 10 blocks. Switching weapons because I'm tired of reloading. So stable. So just so you know, as soon as I switch weapons, I can feel the stability. So the UIC is in my second slot, and it is so stable. Holy crap. I'm pretty sure it's one of the big surprisers of all the weapons. I mean, the SIG for me was like, you know, again, the SIG is in the middle of the road when it comes to damage and power and stability, but and that's why it's so perfect. It's not like lame in the middle of the road. I mean, like it's perfectly imbalanced. Everything is really balanced about it. The only shitty thing about the SIG is really that it's got it's down one mod. And so, you know, I would like to have that mod slot, but it's not the end of the world. It's only got 3 mods, but I think they just didn't want it to make it too OP. Okay, so here's the UIC. I mean, name your target and you'll be able to hit it in the head. Look at that. Oh god, more of these ladies. Oh, we're not surviving. That was nasty. You know, I haven't watched any of the spoilers, so I don't know. I mean, you mean from, you're talking about from when we killed her? But the spoilers tell a different story. Look out, Swag, she's gonna get you. Yeah. The spoilers tell a different story, I think, about the why she went rogue. But I don't know, I can't remember the details a little bit, and I was trying not to pay attention. So I'll just respawn. It's okay, we don't have to do that. Dr. Hannes and Silverback. Do I like the digital scope? Yeah, I love the digital scope, but I don't want to run it. The good thing about rifles is that they're really versatile. You can play them at range and you can play them close in. So if I go like too much of the digital scope on a rifle, then you lose that flexibility. But you can run 2 rifles like I'm doing, right? Play one for close up and one for range and just kind of swap between rifles as you need to. That's a good way to balance it out. But, and then that's a way you can sneak in, like a focus talent if you wanted to, also by using 2 versions. Good. I see that that message there, Kelly. It doesn't say anything about meleeing them in the. See what happens when I melee you. Can I melee this guy? Oh yeah, you can. Cool about that. Cool, you can melee them. All right, right on. I haven't played this enough to learn that. I knew there was something. I was asking people last night in last night's stream. I streamed on Twitch last night. If you guys caught that. If you didn't, be sure that you follow me over on Twitch. But I was asking people what are ways around the shields. Any tricks to it. And I haven't been doing any tricks. I've just been killing. Just killing. Just shooting. But some people mentioned that there's... what up, Warrior Cowboy? Revlo. The #1 rifle, Revlo, was no surprise. It's the classic M1A. And so that was one of the challenges of the rifle class. Is that, well, not a challenge, but it's also a benefit, right? Is that it hosts... Oh, I can melee her, right? There we go. Now that we know that, that makes shit easier. It helps with those rushes like that. Right on. Kelly, you just saved my day, bro. Kudos to Kelly. Kudos to Kelly. Yeah, so #1 on the list officially is not the Baker's Dozen. It's the classic M1A with Ranger and optimal range. And then you have, but you have to put the extra 5 rounds on there. So you know. Oh, there's a boss over there or something? So that's the M1A CQB there. And then, so I'm gonna be switching back and forth between the 2 so you guys can see all these in the game. But the truth is, this is the deal, okay? This is what I want the big takeaway to be away. So you have the list, you know, when you know for damage, and there's no surprise. The M1As take the first 4 slots, right? So you have the M1A, you have the M1A CQB, with the Ranger versions, right? And then you have the Lucky Shot versions, you know, basically. Does the Sweet Dreams bypass it and kill them, I wonder? I would imagine it would. So I switched over to the M1A. for the RPMs at close range. But you have to reload a lot. You see that? And that reload can get you killed. When you're not shooting, they're shooting at you. It's no bueno. Yeah, no, I hope they do a makeover to New York. I'm not a fan of New York. They need a makeover there. Don't you guys think? They have so many things to do on their list. It's like, it's crazy. I mean, I feel like, you know, even instead of the new game mode, it'd be like, you could just like give us another, ooh, that's a nice one. Like, you know, another legendary stronghold. Just take the same mission, turn it into legendary. I would accept that big time. You know how much time we spend playing legendary in this game? You know, that's replayable content for me. Also, it's another way to get replayable. So yeah, so I'm using, this is the UIC here, and it does really well at range. You see that? Really well. It's probably the best one at range. So they're all gonna have strength. So I mean, if that wasn't clear in my explanation, I should probably tell you. Like, of the top 10, the reason why it's such a comprehensive list, like, why I didn't just give you 2, right? I could just, because if I just gave you 2, it'd be like, it's the M1A and it's the M1A. But also, they all achieve the 100-meter mark, right? These are all get to 100 meters. And some of them do a little bit better job at 100 meters, and some of them do a not so good job at 100 meters, right? And so that's sort of what I'm showcasing here, is that they all have their, so the UIC might not be the strongest in its class. The UIC is technically number 6 in its class, right? But it does the best. It is literally the best at 100 meters, the best. And that's because there's absolutely, look at the bounce on that thing. Look at it, you know? Like if I pick that little red target way out there, right? Look at that. Minor movement. It returns to 0, but it barely leaves 0. It goes from like 0 to, what would you say, to 3? 3 degrees up? Maybe 2? I mean, nothing. You know, let's go to the M1A. Okay. Is this a CQB? Yeah, it's CQB. So up and to the right, and then continues to travel, right? So, which, I mean, that's with braced, right? That's with braced. And so it's a really good, amazing rifle. Well, but the point is that once you put on strained, then the world is your oyster. Go with your favorite, man. Go with your favorite. If you love the M1A, CQB, and you're okay with having a small mag, you know, more power to you. I guess is my point. But you don't have to with brace. With brace, you can go with the LBOAC. I'm gonna change it again here. We're gonna put the lightweight M4, and you're gonna be like, I think maybe the lightweight M4 is my new favorite. The lightweight M4 might be your new favorite rifle in a minute here, okay? Like, you think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, strained for rifles is a game changer, okay? So we're gonna put on the lightweight M4 here, okay? And it's a beautiful one too. It's exactly what we want, right? Boom. So let's make sure our mods are correct, because we don't need the stability. So we're gonna put on crit chance there, right? Optimal range. And we don't need the stability there. And I like 20 rounds. I'm happy with 20 rounds, so I can put on more crit damage. So you see, because of brace, look, we got 30 rounds actually. So we got 30 rounds in the mag, and that allows me to put 10% more crit damage on this rifle because of braced. You don't need more than 30 rounds, trust me. And I'm gonna find a very far spot. And then let me switch to the second one too. So I'm gonna take off the UIC. I think you guys can see what that can do. We're gonna put on the LVOAC. These are very similar, these two. So I would actually try this 30% optimal range, but that requires me to go and take shit away. So specialization, which I don't want to do. So put crit chance there. Optimal range. Okay, good. So cool. So 33, right where we need to be. All right. So we're gonna stick with the M4 first, and I'm gonna play deep. So 67, 88. Back there is what? 98. All right. She's hiding now, so I gotta change targets. Okay, that one. 82. 70. So we want that far target in the back there. Which one's that? That's not an enemy. It's an ally. Let's get a better view. I want this tower over here, actually. When I was playing with the snipers, I was playing back there, but it looks like it's occupied. The handling is absolutely amazing. Now, it does have more bounce than the others, though. That is the actual case. I can feel the little bounce, the little boop, 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 you know? But uh-oh. Run! Damn, this fucking foam. Man, foam is my Achilles heel. I fucking hate foam. And I got 3 of them on me right now. See, this is when those RPMs matter, right? Like when they get close on you, you just need to pump those rounds in on them. There's a lot of guys around here, huh? Fuck, what's going on? I got what you mean swag. I don't even think the civilians on here yet. Oh, I guess they are. One random one. Rifles don't do really well on tech, I notice. I feel like I'm always like putting in more rounds than I want to. Okay, we got one of these good, nice fun spots up here. I'll pick them off. So I'm still using the... Yep, that's still the M4. Okay. Beautiful, right? Look at that handling. Just unload that mag on them. Way more fun than the M1A, in my opinion. I like this better than the M1A. Yeah, M4 is good. So, but it does make it a tough choice. But again, the SIG, I think, remains my favorite. It's perfectly in balance between all of them. But the Urban MDR is like probably right behind it, even at range. It's also really nicely balanced. But the SIG is puts out a little bit more power. Probably, you know, I got 2.1 plus, and that's because I'm running a version that's like not fully god rolled, but rifles for the longest time have just been king in this game, haven't they? They did a really good job with the rifle class, better than all of them. Do you remember when they did the rebalancing and everything? Of everything? Remember all the rebalancing? Where they took all the weapons and then they updated their damages and all that? Hey, Ultra Mega Man, are you still around? I'm just noticing you jumped in. Jeremy Howard, what up? Commander Bloodweiser. Also, don't forget to hit that like if you guys are liking these build videos. We're gonna add more changes to these builds actually in a second after this control point. Add more. We can go even more defense. And what we're gonna do is not gonna overdo it on the armor. We're gonna get a balance in the armor. It's gonna be about regenerating the armor back as fast as we can, and because we're gonna go into legendary, and you take a lot more damage in legendary. Even at distance, these enemies are ridiculous. I mean, just the other day, I was like, even in heroic, like I was playing at like 80 meters or whatever, and they're like wailing on my forehead with their machine gun, with their assault rifle. You know what I mean? It's just like, wow, your assault rifle is the most accurate thing I've ever seen. I want it. You know? And so that's why Rifleman is also a really good talent from that demonstration there, is that you can really focus in on the head. You really can with rifles, you know? So that would be my go-to talent outside of Ranger, especially if you're playing more on the inside. Then, yeah, Rifleman's nice. If you can stack, I think 5, right? Or 6. Perfect Rifleman allows you to stack 6. And I have that version on this character too, which is the artist tool. See, some people are just kind of closed-minded about other rifles though, because it's the competitor's M1A, of course, you know? So there's a lot of people just like, you can't run another rifle. It's just the M1A or nothing. It's like, it doesn't have to be that way, you know? This game can be fun if you use different weapons instead of just the same weapon, you know? Like, why do they give us 100 different weapons if there's only one that you're supposed to use? I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, they give us dozens. Okay, so I'm gonna switch here. Let's see. So that was the. Now we're gonna use the LVOAC. A little more bounce to the ounce, but of course with brace it brings it into a realistic world. So this is number 9 on the list, and you know, at far ranges, I really, you know, not a fan of it. Even at close ranges, actually. It's just, it bounces a lot, you know. It's a lightweight rifle. It's so lightweight that it. I'm not gonna use it for very long. I mean, I don't even like it right now, and that's with braced. But it's number 9. It should be at the bottom, but it's number 9 because it technically puts out more power than the Urban. But the Urban is, when it comes to my favorites, the Urban is number 2 on my list. Maybe number 3. Probably number 2. Like, it's some, when you're asking my favorites after all of this is said and done, it's gonna be the SIG, the Urban MDR, and the lightweight M4, and then the UIC. Probably in that order. Oh no, I'm sorry, I forgot one. MK17. So the MK17 is actually really powerful too, which is that's probably one that you guys should be paying attention to, is the MK17. It should be like, because it goes M1As and then MK17. So it's, the MK is the next step down from the M1As, and it's got really good handling and rate of fire and a large mag. So and that should be one that's on your list as well. Definitely to try at least. Yeah, I can't even play with this. Okay, switching to the Speak of the Devil. Let's go back to that one. This should be a big. This is probably something a lot of you are learning today for the first time, is that this is actually a really good rifle. This is the one that the what is it, guys? I think it's the Everlasting Gaze is made out of, right? And because of that, you're probably if you're like me, if you've been around for a while, you probably mostly use. Look at that, 98 meters, right there. Hitting at 1,000,000 at 98 meters. Body shots. 1.1. If you're like me, you probably are most experienced with this rifle using it on status effect builds, and so because of that, and that's because it was the Everlasting Gaze, which is a status effect named weapon. Nice. Easy. And so that you were probably underwhelmed by it, like I was, and that's why it's never been a rifle for me. And that's because the only time I had experience with it was for status effect builds, which are all yellow. You know, I was just using it for the talent to proc status effects, and so that made the rifle seem underwhelming because it's obviously all yellow builds are pretty weak with rifles. But look at that, I'm right on the head. Head-ish. The enemy moves, obviously, right? There it is. So yeah, finished off strong with that. So that's up there. So I guess I forgot about that for my list. So let's move things in order. I think that's probably number 2. Number 1 is going to be the CQB. This version, not that version. Where'd it go? It's that one. Here we go. This one is it's just you know, it's the finest balance between all of them. So when it comes to like stability, RPM, mag size, it's perfectly balanced. Perfectly balanced rifle. So yeah, this is number 1 on my list. Then the MK-17, and then from there it's the Urban MDR. And then after the Urban MDR, it's the UIC, this one here. So Urban MDR is number 3, and then UIC is number 4. So that's my top list. So top 3, if we just keep it to that, it'd be Urban MDR. So SIG, MK, Urban MDR. That's our list. The Tux's favorites. Story words. Yeah, I got the ACR. The ACR SS isn't bad. It's just outshined by the other ones. Ooh, that's nice, Walker. I can put armor on that. I'll take it. And I like those wyverns too. Look at that. Awesome. You know me and my hybrids. The Walker ones is one of those that'll be on the list of things to pick up. So I've started that list. You will have a shopping list for TU15, so look out for that. It'll be quite comprehensive. So I'll send it out to the Tuxes Players Club in print format or image format before the video, and then I'll do a video on it as we get closer. And I know that, you know, again, I just think it's prudent to wait for the title update finishing notes, not necessarily like after all the way through patch, or I'm sorry, not patch, but phase 3. But I just wanted to see how phase 2 ended up, at least, you know. But so like the catharsis, you know, the build for, so I already have a list of builds. I got like 18 builds like on a list for season 9. It's crazy already, right? But the catharsis will have a lot of builds for it. Same with blue screen. So I think you'd be surprised. You might not be super excited about the blue screen, but it's actually be pretty cool. So if you see how the Scorpio kind of made its way to like everybody's like primary weapon and whatever. Now, I don't think the blue screen is gonna be that. Because there's less run and gun available for it, but let's go there because I want to do long range stuff. But it's going to be really cool to play with. Really good team support builds. So really good legendary builds will come out of that. You know, all the status, if you're gonna be status affecting everybody, and all these guys that are going to be running Heartbreaker or Spotter, you'll be giving them bonus armor or more damage to pulsed enemies. You know, that's mostly what I'm talking about with the blue screen. And then, you know, status effects, you know, it's just a crowd control, right? So, and it's an LMG, you know. They gave us a smaller mag in that weapon, but in the exotic, but either way. This guy, this snitch. But the catharsis I'm really excited about. That's the one that's gonna give me a lot of builds. And same with Uzina Getica. That's gonna, like, if you liked all of our builds, like Slaughter That'll be cool to upgrade those builds. Give them more survivability. Also, those unlimited armor builds, you know, with like where we put skill tiers and put incoming repair, the incoming repair ones. Those ones are going to get upgrades. So lots of upgrades, the builds that you already love. So we're going to do that series as well as just brand new builds. So it'll be a combination of both. You know, builds that you love just got stronger, right? So let's see. So these guys, 77, 78 there. And then in the back, is at 89, 81. No problem, Ultra Mega Man. Yeah, Baze. Hey, actually, let me rewind the soundtrack. Ali Amaz? Yeah, good question. Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. You probably missed it, but I'm using the military MK17. Now, the truth is that there's two other MK17s, the police MK17 and then the standard one. Okay, so I'm sort of going off of what I was able to farm, and I was farming for over a week for these rifles. And the reason why is because they had to have the right talent setups and they had to have reasonable roles. But it's possible that the police might be better, you know, and unfortunately I'm just gonna have to leave that to you guys to figure out, you know, just because I wasn't able to get the ideal roles on all of these to do a side-by-side comparison. So we did a damage, you know, but a damage comparison on base damage, and you know, and a lot of these weren't god rolled, you know, so these are sort of like estimations, and I think I did a really good job estimating, like, you know, so number one is the classic M1A. Number two was the Baker's Dozen. Number three was the M1A CQB. Number four was the M1A CQB with Lucky Shot. You know what I mean? So, but even they were not god rolled on everything all the way. So we just did estimations, and I think it's really close on the estimations, you know. And it's just a ranking, right? It's just a ranking. This is number one. This is number two. And the other thing that's going to change is your build, right? So don't focus. So I hope all of you don't focus on the exact numbers. So for my M1A Classic, now for my M1A Classic, actually was actually pretty high, but it's not god rolled. But the Baker's Dozen was practically god rolled, right? So, but they're still missing damage. So this Baker Dozen hit up 4.3 million, and it's missing some damage. So it could obviously do more. And then if you're playing group, you're gonna get buffs there. So this is just a ranking, right? You know, this is to say I got 4.3 million with this this one, 4.3 million with this one. So obviously you could do more than 4.3 million when you peek this out. And you know, you might choose not to run optimal range and instead put on damage to targets out of cover or something like that. It's gonna give you even more damage, right? You're probably approaching 5 million with this. And we did, and those tests were in the testing range, as a matter of fact. Let's go ahead and put one on here. That's as a matter of fact. And so we were only at 49 meters. So now let's see what this can do out here. Now it's a different build, so I got armor and all that other shit. But let's just see what we can pull off here. Who's far? That guy, 96. $2 million, and we ended with a headshot kill. Whoops. Come here. There we go. Ah, that doesn't last very long, huh? There we go. Let me get rid of that guy. Sorry about that. A little disruption. Alright. Yeah, actually, this won't be a good test. It's because I'm wearing a different build now, right? So, but either way, you know, the numbers you're going to have to finalize the numbers based on your build, based on your squad setup and whatever. And we can do that. Actually, I've been planning on doing that anyways. I wanted to put out, you know how we did the strongest assault rifle build the other day? So I was thinking about doing one for the rifle class, but not just the strongest, but also, is it still the strongest in the game? You know, the M1A, is it? You know, do we know that for sure as a fact? I mean, I haven't seen anybody test it lately. That's why I'm kind of curious. It's been a while since we've seen anybody run it. You know what I mean? Is it still the contractor's gloves, or, you know, do we run striker on a rifle to see with focus? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Does the assault rifles all of a sudden do more DPS because of striker? You know what I mean? Has anybody run a test on that lately? Any of you guys have done that? So I'm talking about since TU14 when they released the new striker update. Is it possible that the AK does more DPS than the M1A? I don't know, but I think we're gonna have to check. So, you know, so I think we need to confirm that. And it's a good confirmation, and now's the time to confirm this thing. It sounds like a redundant task, but the reality is that we have TU15 coming, and so we're gonna need to know where's the king, what's the king that's potentially gonna be toppled or not. So with every title update, we need to be doing these updates, and I don't think anybody's done it lately. Has anybody? Are you guys aware of anybody doing a king build again? You know, verifying that these builds are still #1, because that AKM build, like, it hits pretty fucking hard, and it's got a way faster RPM. You know what I mean? You're like, and a way larger mag. I mean, you got to think that, and now it can take the amp damage from striker, which was never in past testing, was never part of the equation because nobody likes striker. You know. So I'm really curious, and it might still be the king. You know, the M1A is so strong. There's a good chance that it is still the king, but we need to test it again for TU14, and then we'll need to know that going into TU15, and then we need to test it again, of course, in TU15. Every title update requires the testing of at least that one build, and you should test your favorite build too, right? Even whatever your favorite build is, you should be testing it every title update, wondering, is there a way to make my favorite build even more better, right? Like if your favorite build is an armor regen build, then, you know, with Uzina Getica, can it make it better? You know, if your favorite build has armor on kill with Uzina Getica, can it be better? If your favorite build has glass cannon, will it be better with the new perfect spotter talent, right? Will you decide to go that way instead and not take any incoming damage? Maybe, maybe not. You know, I'm sort of torn a little bit because I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. The reason why I'm a little torn is because they still haven't given us a good way to get that bonus armor. You know what I mean? I mean, there's several different ways, but I'm not sure I'm happy with all of them. Like, Heartbreaker is gonna give it to you for just landing headshots, right? But like, what if we don't want to run Heartbreaker? Do we always have to run Heartbreaker to get bonus armor now? I mean, of course not. But you know, there's also VL Jack. What up, bro? There's also, you know, Catharsis, and then there's other things too, or whatever. The sniper rifle gives you bonus armor. There's lots of different ways, but none of them are like, huh? Is that sustainable bonus armor? I don't know. Notice none of these guys came out with the game mode. What's up with that? So M1A, so this is the M1A with Ranger, and it's okay. It's great. We get faster reload, so we take some of the pain away from it, but it's not that exciting. I'll just put it that way. So I'm gonna swap the M1A for the MDR because I think that you guys, I recommend you really try that one. Did we see the SIG already? Did we already do that? So I'm gonna put the M1R there, and then I'll put the SIG, which is my actual favorite of them all, in the second slot, and then I'll show off that. Ah. Total Hunter UK. Actually, the Virginian, the 1886. Good call. Good call. Should have brought that up. Good detail. It is the best. So you know what? Let me ask you this question. What do you guys think? Like, this is opening up a couple topics here. Thanks for bringing that up, Hunter. So Hunter UK is right. Like the 1886 has the highest base weapon damage. Is it out of all rifles? Not in the game, because the Nemesis is definitely millions, right? It's 2.5 million or something like that. But it doesn't do good at range, and so I mean it does okay, but like it doesn't have the 100-meter thing, and it's also obviously got a lot of other small issues that take it off the list, like reload time, handling, and a small mag. And again, you got to have a minimum of 20 rounds. And the M1As are squeaking by. I mean, they're lucky they made the list on that basis, but they're undeniable. So, that being said, okay, like I always look at DPS. Let me check you guys on DPS, see what you think about this, okay? Because I'm no DPS like definition master. But going on the 1886, like the 1886 is my favorite rifle in the game. It's one of my favorite guns in the game, probably top 5 for sure, if not number 2. Like the Regulus is my favorite weapon in the game. The 1886 is, I actually like the 1886 better than the Virginian. So the non-named version, I like it better than the Virginian. And if you watch any of my 1886 videos, you know why. The other thing is, the Mantis is up there at the top. It's a really good sniper. The White Death, those are all good weapons too. So anyways, those are all some of my top weapons in the game. Now the 1886 is way up there because I like my one-shot, one-kill builds. It's a lot of fun. So with that being said, the question is on DPS, right? I say this sometimes in my sniper build videos. There's no better DPS than one bullet, one kill. You know, but can we legitimately categorize a sniper build inside a DPS competition? You know what I mean? What kills faster, a sniper or an M1A? Well, you know, ooh, it comes rogues. When it comes to mags, I mean, if you're calculating it by bullet, well, you know, the M1A might take like 6 shots, 10 shots, right? Where the 1886 is going to take 1 bullet, right? On proc, granted, right? On proc, but that aside, it doesn't matter, does it? I mean, it's like you get your proc. It's part of the game. It's the talent. I mean, Headhunter. Can we exclude talents? Can we say, well, you can't use Headhunter in the competition? What do you guys think about that? You know, I gotta get these guys up. If they die, we lose the rogues. It sucks. But that's the way this game is working right now. There's a glitch. If any of your players dies, you lose the rogues. So you can have no player die. They all despawn. So when you're playing the rogues right now, play conservative, play deep, because if you die, like if your armor goes down, then heal up. Don't risk it, because you will lose the rogues. If you don't face tank the rogues, you know what I mean? Like play deep, play in the squad, play from cover, because you're gonna despawn this. If you die, it's not about somebody picking you back up. It's that you're gonna despawn the rogues, and then we all lose out on named gear. You know. See, just like that. See what I'm saying? So it's just like, oh, it sucks. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know. Is it, did they change something, or is that just bullshit? Is that a glitch? But it used to do that sometimes. I remember back in the day, and then all of a sudden it started happening again. So I warned you. I warned you. It does. MDR does shoot like a paratrooper SVD. That's actually pretty true. Good call. So we tried Entrenched the other day, guys. Entrenched is actually really interesting with rifles. I never considered the Entrenched talent. So I tried it once back in the day, because you know I'm going to try everything, right? And I tried it once back in the day where I was like, hey, you should try Entrenched with snipers, and I did, and I was like, oh, it's not that really, it's sort of underwhelming. And It is, so it is. It's underwhelming with snipers because it requires such precision. But with rifles, you can put out 3 or 4 shots and one of those lands on the head. Then, you know, all of a sudden it's like, wow, I got all that armor back. Now, remember when I was telling you we want to create a build where we can spend a lot of time out of cover shooting and taking pain while we're delivering pain? And Trench would help us do that a lot, actually. But we're not going to do it today because I really like Braced. So, but I did say we're going to change the build up a little bit, so we should do that. James Eaton, what's going on? It's all good, OG. I don't really care. I'm just saying. Try to remember, guys, like, for all of you out there listening, like, the rogues are glitching right now, so if you want that named gear, if you want that good gear, then play conservative against the rogues right now. Don't shield face tank them or anything weird like that, even if you're a tank, because they got skills that can get behind you, right? Throw it behind you, whatever. And the unfortunate part is that, like, if you die, even if you got allies, it doesn't matter. They despawn, and it's a little glitch. But okay, so we got 2 pieces of Bellstone. We got the armor on kill. But let's go back into the fold on armor regen here. We could also not run the Grupo. We could run something else with Brace too. But what I technically want is a bunch of armor regen. And so let's see if I got another chest option with Braced. We don't want to weaken our build so much that we can't kill, right? But we want to find that balance by slowly adding in armor regen over time. So here's a nice Bellstone. It's got Gunslinger, but I'll change that. And we got armor regen with armor, so that'll push our armor up a little higher. And then I'll change this piece down here to something with damage and armor regen. Like that piece could work, and I could slap some armor regen instead of crit chance. But we could also run that one. See where we are damage. 27. Any crit chance here? 33, 155. There we go. Basically, I think the 2 pieces that stay are the Coyote's Mask and then the Fox's Prayer. But we could like add armor, right? So we could add more armor. Let's try going to heavy on armor and see how crazy that is. So now, but I don't know if I want to run armor on kill. I guess that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy with just armor regen. You know? So I think a guy could throw back on the group of backpack. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's sort of the same as we were doing. I could just flip-flop of that, right? But it's that armor regen piece I need. Let me see, do I have that? It's fit with vigilance, though. We do got concussion. We could play into the headshots more. Huh. Let's put back on that and then put the Grupo here again. Or we could do the goal in. I was trying to keep entrenched on that piece, though. And then put our second goal in down here. We'll have massive armor regen if we do this. See that? If I don't want too much armor, then we can do that. Actually, that's right. We're on track. So let's put the golem back here with that real quick. And then we'll drop this back down here like that. So 33, so we got a crit chance where we need it. And so this is 1% armor regen. And then this is 2% armor regen. And then we got this other in here that's basically giving us a 3% armor regen. And then if we go really crazy, now this is crazy. We did do this yesterday. I'll throw this on for a quick control point. So I got the Murkomen knee pads. You see that? Armor regen and weapon damage. So Fox's Prayers are a hard thing to let go of, though. You know what I mean? Ooh, that's a good gift backpack. Yeah, hey Tony, the RPMs on the Urban are sweet. I'm really loving it. Yeah, Hunter UK. I hear you, bro, about the M1A and the reload and, you know, that kind of thing, you know. Like, if you go beyond that single mag, right? Like, then the M1A is, like, when it comes to DPS, is probably, you know, up there. Hey, Double Mike's is in the house. I didn't see you jump in, Double Mike's. Mikey Mike. What's up, man? So, we're talking about the hunter-killer kind of setup. I'm not sorry, the hunter-killer, the headhunter setup, you know? And make, you know, one bullet, one kill is like as fast as it can get when it comes to DPS, you know what I mean? But with the 1886, you got reload issues. But what if you were to, what if you were to open it up, the question up to all questions? I mean, to all weapons, right? And all builds. Like, what if it was, oh wait, what chest am I running right now? Oh, I got the wrong fucking talent. Yeah, this is gonna feel horrible. Let me go to the SIG. The SIG doesn't need brace, that's why I switched. It's nice, but doesn't need it. So the SIG is that's why the SIG is so amazing. It's got a pretty good handling just on its own. Now, I normally run it with a few the stability mod on it, but I'm not doing that right now. But I need to put brace back on the build technically. I don't think I can be able to get you. Let's see, I gotta put up my decoy. See if it'll hold them. Nope. That's cool. I need to change my talent. Anyways. Talent change! Talent change! Don't forget to hit that like, yo! Appreciate the help! Okay, so I'm gonna drop a comment here so you have the official list. It's gonna be kind of long, right? But you can copy and paste it. Oh, it's gonna go over a limit. It won't let me do it. Let me get rid of some words. I'm gonna cut out some. Some notes here, and then see if I could just paste the list in. Let me rewind the music here real quick. Still too high. Okay. Let me... Yeah, it's not gonna let me paste this list. I'll have to send it to you guys in a post later. You guys like that new secret build? Pretty cool, huh? It was a lot of fun. We were surprised, you know, when I was creating it like that. Nobody else. Look at this guy, 32,000 SHD. That is insane. That's insane, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? 32,000. Let's run a striker build. Got a smart build. With the Chameleon's one of my favorites, actually. This is the Meta Millionaire build. Except I would put Grupo here. But either way, really good. He's got lots of armor. He's having fun with it. So... 32,000 though. Whoa. I mean, I gotta say, I mean, I hate saying this and forgive me for saying it, but I gotta say that there was probably the glitch used in that equation. I just, is it possible to have 32,000? Is it? Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is. Mil-Spec Mom's got 25,000, right? So she says she took a break too. So what do you guys think? You guys remember what I'm talking about? There was the level up glitch, the shade abuse glitch. A lot of people got kicked out for it, but they didn't catch everybody. They didn't catch everybody. So there's a lot of people, I even know people that used it and didn't get kicked out. Well, maybe it is his job. Maybe it is his job. Maybe he's retired. There's a lot of people that play this game that are retired officially, right? So yeah, there's a good chance he doesn't have a job. You'd be surprised, right? You know what I mean? A lot of retired guys in this game. A lot of guys 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus. I mean, one of the guys I play with, guys I play with a lot is 70 plus. He's over 70 years old. Yeah, the turret glitch. Thanks, Hunter. That's what I'm talking about. You know, you remember that, right? A lot of people got kicked, but not a lot of people. There's a lot of people that didn't. But some people like could have really abused it, you know? I don't know, but there's also a good chance. I mean, I like giving people the benefit of the doubt, you know what I mean? And, you know, like Mil-Spec Mom, I doubt, you know, I for sure doubt that. I mean, you see her play. She plays a lot with directives and stuff like that. But I mean, I play a lot too. I play a lot. And you know what's crazy is like I use headshot builds a lot. I mean, right now I'm, I think 150 in the world. Where am I today? Let's jump to me today. 160 in the world today. So 160 in the world today, you know, on headshot kills. So that tells you that, and that was without trying. Like, I didn't realize I was that high until I looked at the reanimated event that just passed. And so that's just because I gravitate towards headshot builds, and that's how I earned that rank. So then the reason why I'm bringing up headshot builds, like, why does that have to do with XP? Well, headshot builds allow you to put on maximum what do you call it, global directives, without feeling the pain so much, like ammo, pistolero, and you're playing for cover, so you know, no armor regeneration is not an issue. One shot, one kill, so bullets aren't an issue. You know what I mean? So lots of reasons why, but but also you get more XP, right? For headshot kills, and then you get more XP for chain killing headshots. So there's just a lot of reasons why, like, people that like sniper builds will tend to have higher XP pull out, higher watch levels. And mine's, you know, what am I at? Like 6,493, and you know, that's not a lot. Like, I have a lot of guys in my clan that have more than me, you know what I mean? So, you know, there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of people that do all of the projects, like every week, they do the weekly, daily projects and all that stuff. That's all a bunch of XP. Doing invadeds, always doing your invadeds is a bunch of XP. If you're doing legendaries, you're getting less XP, right? Per hour. So he might do less legendaries than the rest of us. And that's like what Mil-Spec Mom does, I think, you know, not that I'm a pro in how her approach is, but I think she does a lot of heroic stuff with directives, and which would be a faster way to get XP. Instead of doing legendary with directives. Legendary directives take you forever, and it's about how much XP per hour. These guys are all pinned down, huh? So we will take this in the legendary here in a couple of minutes. Just fine tune this build a little bit, and then we'll see how it does in legendary. We'll have to turn off the event for legendary because it'd be ridiculous, right? I don't know. Does anybody play this event for legendary? I haven't tried it, but I imagine having invulnerable enemies in legendary would not be a good, fun experience. So this is the MDR. It has the lowest damage on the list of 10, right? And so and then here is the SIG, which is right in the middle of the road, basically. and really good, really good. Love the SIG. Every time I use, the SIG, the entire time the SIG has been on my list. Like throughout the whole week of gathering and farming and whatever, I kept gravitating to the SIG. And so I would try another one that would be like, oh, this one's really good too. And then I tried the SIG again, and for comparison, I'm like, ooh, I still love the SIG the most. You know, I think you'll probably have the same feeling if you try them all. So our armor's a little too high, and so I say that because our armor stayed at 100% almost the whole time. Now that'd be different than Legendary, obviously. So this game mode is giving you some like an unbreakable perk. I don't know if you guys caught that. So we won't get a. But the reality is, you want active armor. You want to see your armor go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. If you're always full, then you got too much armor regen or too much armor or something. I mean, it's possible you're always full because you got like amazing armor on kill, so that's a good problem in that case. And so I would look in that situation of like, if you're always full because you're killing so fast, then you know you could even look at taking away some of that armor on kill or armor and putting it towards killing even faster. Because it's like, wow, you're doing such a good job. Or you could also start, you know, dedicating it to efficiency, like things like weapon handling, land more shots, or reloads, stuff like that. Or you could start looking at ways to buff your team. Like, you know, okay, maybe I'll take off this talent and instead put on Overwatch if you're playing teams. But I know you got a lot of solo players. Are you ready, Legendary? Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I hear you, Revlo. So am I crazy to try that if we try that? I don't think we'd get very far. It'd be really annoying, you know? Like, we gotta kill that drone lady. She's all the way in the back, and she's the guardian. You know what I mean? And she's just sending infinite drones at us. It's a horrible experience. This isn't a good control point to showcase the build, just because it's kind of tied in, right? Let's just wail on this guy's head here real quick. Yeah, that was the SIG. There's an Urban MDR. The RPM does feel good. As soon as I figured out the brace talent neutralizes everything, and then when I tried this, I used this rifle the most with it. Like, if you got a really good weapon, like some weapons, like the SIG, you know, it's not so reliant. It's already stable, so you could elect to go braced with the SIG. I mean, not braced, focus, and then get even more damage out of it. God, they're fast. See how fast she is? You're not going anywhere. I'm gonna get you in that cover anyways. You got this medic before he starts causing trouble, huh? See, this would be a nightmare without rifles. Imagine if you're running an SMG and shit. You'd have to go up there and get that guy. Like... Yeah, so it's good timing to do this test. Just look at that regen right there. You get the armor on kill. When you kill the boss, you get that armor on kill, so we cheated. Not a boss, but a guardian. They don't talk about that. Do you guys think that's kind of weird that, like, when you're reading the details, there's like so many details that they left out? Am I the only one that feels annoyed by that? Like, where in the details does it say you get armor on kill? You know? It says that you get, like, RPMs. Right? I caught that detail. It says you get weapon damage and stuff like that, but I didn't see anything where it said armor on kill. So we're just, like, having to learn things. What's good, Professor Beam? Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Legendary in the summit. But still, the Tusk are a pain because they got a lot of players that play in the back. Like the technicians play in the back, and then the drone operators. So even in the summit, the White Tusk are like, oh. And the tanks, it's like, at least their tech isn't technically under the thing. So red stars, I don't have that many. I've kind of been on and off about the event. I started only a day ago, so that was all basically maybe 1 or 2 days, 2 days maybe playing. So one guy left maybe. Does it say restore armor? Did I just miss that? You're probably right. Let me see what it says. Maybe I just overlooked it. It says eliminating the guardian temporarily increases your weapon damage, rate of fire, reload time, and restores armor. It does say that. Cool. And removes immunity from protected enemies. And but it doesn't say anything about the melee either, does it? There's no melee yet. Yeah. So somebody just put that together at some point, huh? I know these events have been for a while, but I've actually skipped this event on a regular basis. A quick look at our build and see. We want to be able to go out there and see and be able to change pieces on the fly. So I might have to re-roll something just to make sure we can do that. Not sure if we like taking out the foxes, so I'd rather put on armor and then put the foxes back on, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Get the multiplicative damage plus the rifle damage. So I can do that. You know what I mean? So, and then what we could do here is we need to drop some armor, right? We got too much armor. So let's see if we have the goal in. We have a red goal in. Where's my crits at? 33. So we can do that one. That puts me at 37. That's too high in crit chance, but I think I got a mod here I can change. Yep. There we go. I love this song. 007. Did you guys see that last 007 with Paloma? Ana de Armas, that Cuban chick. She's a little on the hot side, if you know what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? She's a little on the hot side. Ana de Armas. She's in everything nowadays, if you guys have noticed that. So, Lorenzo! So yeah, the music you're hearing here at the beginning part is, this is a mix of all 4 volumes of the gamer music playlist I put together. So, but the beginning part is volume 4, which is the newest one. So for those of you that are hardcore banditos, make sure you get access to this. So you can stream it here on YouTube, and then you could also stream it on or offline on SoundCloud, and you can also download it. And then we're looking to add it to Discord if possible. So look into that. Okay, so I'm gonna put on this belt, but I want to change that to braced. For a later option. And then we could also try focus. There's some of these weapons don't need brace, like the SIG doesn't need brace, right? So, but we're gonna cycle through weapons and then figure out the legendary stuff. No reason to go on, right? Oh, I hate when I lose track of them. Where'd it go? Golan. There. All right. We're ready. Squad in the house. CD knows what I'm talking about. That reminds me, in one of these streams, we were talking about Agent Kelso. Oh yeah, it was when we were redoing my fourth character, and I was kind of talking like, hey, you know, at the risk of sounding like, you know, a pervert, like, what's her name is pretty hot. Agent Kelso's pretty hot. Am I the only one that thinks that? And then somebody in the chat, and I think this was all on Twitch, somebody in the chat was like, yeah, that's, the actress is Sonia Bonmoris. So I just dropped the link. I just dropped her name. You love, Google her. Google Sonia Bonmoris. She looks just like Agent Kelso. They made Agent Kelso look just like her, but that's the voice actress. She's a real actress. And you've probably seen her in a lot of like TV series, movies, whatever. Totally funny though. And of course she's beautiful, the Whale Woman. She's Hawaiian, half Hawaiian and half Irish, something like that. So I dig crazy chicks. Is Agent Kelso's crazy? Is that what you're saying? Or Paloma? Ana de Armas. She is crazy. Yeah, some of us are. Who's she shooting at? Oh, there's a bad guy right here. Bad guy. Okay, so we'll see how this does. Oops, this is heroic. I just changed that. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so we got good armor regen, right? More armor than I usually run. Okay, so we're at 1.3. So that's the compensator. Instead of running the Murakami knee pads, what I did is put on more armor. And so the reality is you don't want to play up here. They're going to kick me off this like really fast, right? So, okay, so we got the Urban MDR and the SIG, but either way, it doesn't matter. We just need to play from cover. And then, you know, we'll cycle through different weapons like we were doing before. Actually, we should start off with the number one. Why don't we do that? Let's start off with number one on my favorite list, which is going to be the MK17. Well, no, it's the SIG, but this is the next step down. So we'll have the SIG, which is number one, and then number two. So I'll tell you when I'm switching between the two. Yeah, I wonder if Wyvern. Destroyer words. Oh, now Wyvern. Look at that. Look at that. That's the MK. Good first impression. $9.95 on the kneecaps, right? And that's with the armor, okay? So this isn't like a million right there. So that's for braced and armored. Think about that, okay? Think about that for a second. We got 1.3 million armor, high armor regen, and we're running braced. All right, so we're down to damage talent, where you could run focus or you could run glass cannon, but we're landing shots and hitting at 1,000,000 plus, 1,091 right there. Lots of millions showing up on the board, right? That means lots of hits, more importantly, right? That's the accuracy, stability. And that's at 56 meters. 50, the bench is, let's see what that bench is right there. 70 meters, okay? So at 70 meters out, we're hitting at 1,000,000. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Yes, if we use the M1A, you know, we can get more, right? Let's swap to that. Let me do the classic. All right, now this is gonna be more on the annoying side a little bit because it's got the small mag, but let's just pick our shots. New target. They're like, he's brought out the big gun, everybody hide. 1.7 right there. .7 again on the head. 2 million. 0.5. Grenade, but I can finish. Because I got the regen, that gives me confidence, right? And we got heals. So, yeah, you know, 1.8. So it just doesn't feel, you know, it's about love too, right? It's not loving it. So going back to the MK. This one. Remember, the MK is the step down from, so you go from M1A to MK17, okay? That's the order of damage. So it's the natural step down. And then on our list would be, on my favorite list would be the SIG, would be the next step down. A little drone right there. There we go. Get rid of these medics. Armor's looking good. The healer's obviously helping us too, but we're not taking much damage. 1.37 right there. And so we remember we got our own personal healer on top of the armor regen, so that's a factor of at least 25,000, right? So whatever our armor regen is, which is 35,000 plus add 25,000 to that for the drone. So we're at 60,000 in armor regen. 60,000 heals per second, that is. Cool. So I think we're just down to the, it looks like there's still a drone lady out there. Take her out. She does have the capability to kill all of us, but there she is. I'm hunting her, so you know. Ooh, the dog's caught on. You don't want to face tank? No! Yeah, I was gonna say you don't want to face tank. They'll out DPS you. You don't have the RPMs to rush up on them. I mean, you can pull it off sometimes, like with the M1A, like, or any of them really. If you have a full mag, just you don't really want to face tank. I was just trying to get an angle. The MDR has a hidden headshot bonus, huh? Raymond Rowbottom, tell me more. Tell me more. What do you mean? How do you mean? Are you talking about the mag? Because yeah, you can add more under the mag. I do know about that. Like, there's a mag, a headshot damage mag there, and it's got such a large mag, base mag that you do whatever, right? Pretty cool. Oh, I didn't know that, Hunter UK. I didn't know it was the meta once. You see what I'm saying? One drone lady does have the ability to take out a whole team. Like, they're pretty nasty, those drone ladies. She's fast. Notice she was moving. She knew I was trying to get an angle on her. You know? She still has the ability to out DPS me, which is fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus. Grumpy old man, which is probably like all the time, right? Because I get bored of the M1A like a lot. Actually, I was just talking about it when we were doing some of our testing. I was talking about, there's something about it. The funny thing is about the M1A is just like, and I'm not kidding here or being sarcastic, like the M1A is actually puts me to sleep. Like literally, there's the cadence and sound of the M1A goes tug, 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 tug. At a point where I start to doze off. I literally start to doze off when I'm using it. Like, not joking. You know? Okay, I'm just gonna assume everybody's ready. It's too strong, but it's they also have like a really slow fire pattern, right? It's like 180. It's that cadence is like what they use to put babies to sleep, I'm pretty sure. Look at these ladies juking, huh? Two sniper drones? What is that? Is that two sniper drones? There is, right? See the two purple drones right there? That's never happened before. It's always just one sniper. When is that a thing? Is anybody enlighten me here? Why am I seeing two purple sniper drones? About to see one in a second. There, now we only got one. Since when did the sniper throw out two purple drones at us, decoys? Look at that, at range. There we go, got it. That's it, guys. I don't know. Beautiful. Here's a true test, though. This is a tough part up here, right? So the key is to, it's been, I don't know if it's just been tougher than usual lately. It's always the tough part, though, relatively. Oh, destroyer of words. There you go. There you go. Okay, we need to get that sniper first, so. Oh, she sees me. She sees me.
Serious trauma detected.
Oh, God, it got me. They sniped me. Yeah, if you get the snipers, you can push forward pretty quickly, because they're the ones that pin you down the most. Let's see from here if I can do it. Be nice to get rid of that dog too. He's a big pain in the ass. He shakes your screen so much, you know. It's hard to land headshots with him blasting everything. Thank you. Got her. 14 million. Don't forget about your TAC 50. It's better because, you know, they got a really good capability of shooting you with a single bullet, right? So, got her. One shot, one kill. And that beautiful headshot sound that Tux likes. I'm addicted to it. That's what got me to 160 in the world. Crush, crush, you know? Like a new can of cold Coca-Cola on a hot summer day. And like I've been saying, like none of that fake Coca-Cola stuff. We're talking like the real, the original taste Coca-Cola with the real sugar, that Coca-Cola. There we go. Let's push, boys. Somebody hold the left flank. We'll push. We need to seek and destroy that drone lady there. She comes for me.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Look at these Russians, huh? Getting cocky. You're getting cocky. That rate of fire it gets you out of trouble. You know what I mean? Because you can push them a couple shots in them, buy you a split second to get a couple more. 1.1 million. 51 meters, this guy right here, right? Let's just wail at home while he's in cover. That sells me on the rifle, the whole thing right there, you know what I mean? That's just that, you know? That, like, it's just, that's the SIG that was doing that, by the way. It's just like, it's just got so, it's such a clean shooter, you know? With such little movement, there's minimal correction on your part, and that's just gonna help you land those critical shots, you know? And the rest is like, you will get disappointed with rifles if you're trying to run and gun, though. So don't do that. That'll just irritate you, you know? Out snipered. Did that kick it off? Which one am I using? MK. Take out that red guy right there. We're not in cover though, actually, so we can't. Ah! Oh, fuck. That was fast. They killed me really fast. Damn it. Hey, try to, instead of waiting for them to overrun us, throw us a decoy out there, like a turret. Because they'll overrun us pretty quickly. They smell blood in the water when a man's down. See, I'm looking for range, because remember, the farther out I am, the more damage I put out. So I don't mind playing deep. You do need an angle, though. Yeah, that was my bad, though. I shouldn't have fucked around. I should just put out a shot. I forgot that I was wearing brace. And so I needed to be in cover to land a quality shot, you know? So I was trying to take out that red guy right there. switching to MK. Remember, 1.3 million armor here. Let's take out that dog as fast as we can. Because they disrupt you from taking out the chungas. Because they're shooting grenades at you and shit, will damage you while you're in cover. You want to get rid of that. Okay, make sure your skills are fresh. Make sure your armor's fresh. Here comes the chungas. Here comes the... If they drop their if they get their heal station down, it's pretty hard to kill them here. You know, you do have to try to focus on those heal station guys when you see them. There's a gold heal station guy on the right. You got it down. See, now I'm pinned down. You see that? Yep. See that? And then as soon as you shoot, yeah, this was happening to us the other day. So I'm pinned down and nothing I can do. Oh, they were already left. I didn't realize that. I was alone. No wonder I was pinned down. I get it. I didn't notice that they bounced. I thought they were all in the same positions. Oh shit. I don't know if I can get you up. I don't know if I'm gonna survive this. Heal up. Ah! Fuck! Couldn't make it.
Agent killed.
Mr. Rob, number 69, right on. It's a lucky number around here. You're at a jiu-jitsu tournament? That sounds badass, man. Right on. Thanks for swinging by, bro.
Agent down. That agent needs assistance.
You've got your objective. Don't let anything stand in your way.
That's actually good. That's a good one there. I'd take off Unbreakable, though. Put on a Headhunter. It's not God rolled, but I've been looking for that version. For those pistol builds. Okay, I mean, we don't officially need to beat this, but I was mostly just about showing off how these weapons will do in Legendary. Do you feel like there's one that you didn't get to see? Do you want to see more M1A action, or is that just kind of typical? We could do the lightweight M4. That's actually pretty cool, and then we'll mix it up with the this one and this one. So the UIC and the Urban MDR, those are the two that need more light. Let's see, we got crit chance, and then we got great hit damage. Okay, good. So we should be looking good. Good. Okay. Let's give it one quick whirl here, just to show off these weapons. If we don't finish, it's all good. I don't have all night anyways. It's been a long time yesterday and the day before testing these, so. It takes a lot, and a lot of it's not just testing, it's also farming, you know what I mean? That's where all the time comes in. It's like, I mean, they're like ton of time, because I have to get all the right variants, and not just that, but they have the right talent slots on it, you know? Optimal range and ranger, and there's so many rifles, and it'd have been easier if they were like, oh, only 2 will work, but all of them work, so I had to thoroughly test all of them. You know what I mean? Like, this one's no good. This one's not. Okay, let's start with the lightweight M4. It's actually pretty good. The reason why I ultimately don't use it is because it's like, I feel like it is, I mean, if you like it, you're gonna like it. You know what I mean? Let's just put it that way. If you like it, you're gonna like it. But it's a little middle of the road for me, and it kind of has a lot of similarities to the other ones. And so it makes it like not shine. You know, it doesn't stand out as like, yeah, it's the best one for me. Even though I like it, I definitely like it, you know, no doubt. But some of these ones like this, what makes this SOCOM, not the SOCOM, the SIG. The SIG CQB shines. The reason why it shines is because it is, of the rifles, the most versatile. It is the very most versatile. The Baker's, the M1A is not even as versatile, right? The M1A is, what I mean by that is like, can you run the M1A with every talent and any weapon talent, any gear set talent? You can't, right? Like as soon as you take off, I gotta say, as soon as you take off Lucky Shot, it kind of becomes a crap weapon, right? I mean, you can still run it, but just feel it out. You'll know what I'm talking about. You'll be like, man, I'm always reloading. 2.7 second reload. Now, brace makes that feel better, but what if you have no brace and no Lucky Shot? Then you're stuck with a weapon that has a horrible reload and a very small mag. You know what I mean? And so that's why I feel like it's not very versatile. You know, you have to basically run it with Lucky Shot, basically, right? Which is not a problem because it's still the strongest that way. But if you're looking for the most versatile, the SIG is, right? The SIG I can run with focus. I don't need brace with the SIG. I don't. It's really stable without it. Just put the stability underbarrel on it and you got all the stability you need out of that weapon. So yeah, so the SIG allows me to run focus, which is the strongest chest talent for rifles. And then the 8x scope. It plays good in close range as well as long range. I might take a little bit of damage. I want to get that grenadier. About $1 million. That head, 900,000 on the bodies, 1.164 right there. Fast though. So that's why I like the SIG, is it's like, I mean, I'm thinking more like also that, you know, just beyond, like if I decide I don't want to run brace and I want to run more power, and I think I'll do that for you guys as a build, put on focus on the SIG and then watch its damage just climb big time. The question is, will it still be better than M1A damage wise? Maybe not, you know, but at least you don't suffer from that small mag issue. Like the one, I mean, you still have that even with the Baker's dozen, right? Like if you have a Chunga in front of you and he's a big target, right? So really easy to hit. And so Lucky Shot doesn't help you in that situation, right? You're all of a sudden gonna have small mag, big reload issues. So when you do good, you're almost punished, right? I'm landing all my shots. Oh god, I have a really small mag and this sucks. And then you can die because you get caught in a reload, you know. Any weapon can do that to you, but these are some of the reasons I'm not a big fan of its handling and its small mag. It's just me. You know, it's a great weapon. It's the strongest in the game. Doesn't mean it has to be for you though, you know. But you should have it in case you need to raid or something like that, you know. I hate using it in a raid. So that's the lightweight M4. Does the job fast. Oh, that was the urban. I'm getting confused. They're both so fast. That was the urban. Okay, so which one do I have now? Now I have the lightweight. I was using them both. I had switched at some point. Didn't say anything. You can feel the bounce in this one more though. Definitely has more bounce to the ounce. I waste a lot of ammo on those drones. I really want to shoot them. Don't look into the light. I'm attracted by the light. I'm like a moth. No, Sam, I'm not a... in Division 2, like, I never go to New York, bro. Like, I never do. Like, I stay in Washington, D.C. Like, I hate the Pentagon. Like, I like Camp White Oak, though, actually. Do any of you guys, anybody else out there like Camp White Oak? Anybody fans of Camp White Oak? I like Camp White Oak. It's pretty fun. Let's get some more ammo. Yeah, I like the layout of camp. I like fighting in the woods, you know. It's a pretty cool layout. It's big. It's a big map. It's nice looking. It's good looking too, you know what I mean? There's a drone operator on the left, a red one. It's gonna be our primary target there. But yeah, New York is just, it's too kind of crowded. It's a kind of a crowded map, you know what I mean? A lot of street fights, and I'm not a big fan of street fights. Actually, I avoid them. I feel like they're a waste of time. Also don't like the enemy factions that are there. The New York warlords kind of suck. Like, not a big fan of, like, the Rikers especially, I think, are the ones that I hate. They're so tanky and they're not really fun to fight, you know what I mean? So they're just bullet sponges, and so, you know, that's just not that fun, right? Like, I'd rather have a smarter, more agile enemy that's good at flanking and stuff like that. But, like, you know, like the hyenas are hard, right? Hyenas got a lot of different tech. They're well-rounded. They're a hard fight. They rush you a lot. They rush. He ran away. Oh, this guy came back for more. I think part of the trick of rifles too is, like, you want to get in like 1 or 2 headshots. You know, you definitely don't want to do pure body shots. You will miss out on that time to kill. They're kind of made that way, right? Like, like 3-4 body shots, 1 headshot. 3-4 body shots, 1 headshot. Which is why Breadbasket's a pretty good talent for it. The rushers. If you get a good shot at the rushers and the bands, you want to take care of them before they come up and start some bullshit. That tank's got grenades. It's no fun. Damn it. Get her. Got her. That guy's hiding back there. Come on, dude. See the technicians? Imagine playing this with the Guardian mode. That guy'd be our pain in the ass. He's got a tank pushing, and then the Guardian's hide back there, like. There we go. Okay, so we got the lightweight and the urban right on, right? A 1.3 million armor for that armor regen. 167 crit damage with that. Oh, there's still a guy left. Okay. $1.3 million right there. Got her. That was a headshot kill too. Sniper 2 in that open. Oh, she ran away. Sniper 2 still alive, but she's wounded. Pack 50 is a good weapon, isn't it? Got it. See, that's why you gotta take those snipers out first, because then you get a lot better shot on your enemies. You post up here. Those snipers will pin you down. Even if you can get up here, they just pin you down. Don't want her to get that sticky out, or that. Oh, she still got it out.
Agent down.
Oh, why am I first? That's first to die twice in a row. Felipe de Jesus Maria, ¿qué tal? Right now, we got a high armor regen rifle build going. And we're rotating weapons. I'll show you in a second here. As soon as we clear this wave. But we got 1.3 million armor. And total regen, I think we calculated at 60,000. Does that sound right? 60,000 total regen between armor regen and our personal healer drone. And the rifles were changing because I'm showcasing all the different rifles. We have a top 10. There we go. So here's all the build. So the Coyotes is giving us that 25% crit hit chance. We're playing 100 meters, right? So we're playing at 100 meters. That's where we want to be playing at. And then we're using the Ranger talent with optimal range, and everything's got, you know, its usual stuff. And then this is the other rifle. We're showcasing a bunch of rifles. So I had a top 10 list going, and these right here are number 8 and number 10 on that list. And then two-piece Golan braced is amazing with rifles, which is what we discovered. Like, it's really a game changer. It makes them all amazing. Every rifle becomes amazing with braced. And then our second Golan is all red with crits, and that's from our armor regen. And then we got armor here, armor regen there, and of course the Bellstone, which is armor regen. And I'm running composure just because we take a lot of damage, and so I usually go with vigilance, but I thought I'd give it a change. And sharpshooter. All right. And we destroy. So that's the urban MDR right there. Felt really good, that RPM. Yeah, and we can pick a target and we can nail that target. Those guys have 72 meters, and we are wailing on them back there. You see that? The farther they are, the stronger we are. So that's why it's great. These are great for legendaries. 89, 92 meters, and we're landing those shots. Ooh, that was a big fucking, wow. What the fuck? See, that's bullshit, right? He's like, hey, go for the guy that's putting out a shitload of damage at the moment. Like, jerk. Was on a nice little roll. You know what I mean? Well, it was interesting because there's a bunch of people between me and him. That's what's interesting about that. Like, he didn't have to shoot me. Let's take out that dog. We can. I think it's a sniper too, so. Take out that healing station back there. Helicopters. Those healing stations are gonna be a pain when you need to take out that red guy. Yeah, he's gonna be immune all the way through that shit. There's it. You know what I mean? Gotta take out that red guy. They already back up? You have to back out. They're already pinning me down. You see that? How fast they pin me down? Damn. That's what I'm talking about, which is why you need to regen. Like, that guy back there on my left. We're gonna have to fall back, guys, because we're pinned down in here and they're in their heels. So let's get out of here. Gotta get them out of their heel circle at least, you know. We'll play deep. Oh, I'm gonna play deep. You go with what your build can do. But the farther they out, the more damage I put out. So that's my strategy over here. All right, we're ready. We're geared up. Let's see. That should be pretty close to 100 meters to that ridge right there. Chaotic Blade, what's going on, brother? Yeah, good call, Grumpy Old Man. That's actually a really good call. That's probably why they feel so tanky, huh? Is that they have heals, and we usually don't run, I mean health. We usually don't run health on our builds. We got a lot more damage to armor usually. Assault rifles, of course, do have a little bit of health damage. Good call. Grumpster, pulling out the facts. Felipe, the way you spell your name makes me think you're from Brazil. Are you from Brazil? The spelling of your name makes me think that's the Portuguese version of Felipe. All right, yeah, 80 meters to that ridge. So we like that. And we are putting out good damage to him too. And he's gonna go run to his mama, right? Gonna break down my healer drone in case I need it later. Skill management, very important for legendary, right? A lot of people don't think about that little stuff. But yeah, it's really important, guys. Like, when you have the opportunity to refresh your skills, you take it. You know, even if your skill's like at 80%. Because when the crunch time comes down, when the helicopters come and whatever, and you don't have that skill, you'll be sorry. Uh-oh, 2 men down. Where's the L-Jack? Is he paid forward? Take out that chunk for them. Might be too much of an overwhelming force first here. Yeah, because he's gonna pin us down while the other ones pull in on us. Go ahead and heal up. Switch an MDR for blind fire. There you go. I think I broke his chain, but nah, the bleed. Yeah, I did break his chain, but the bleed. Fuck. Oh well. There it is. Okay, I'll show you guys the build one last time here. Spit and truth. Truth stuff. So yeah, that was the lightweight. I mean, so they, as you can see, these were the weakest of, so this is number 8 on the list, and this is number 10 on the list when it comes to damage of the top 10 rifles that I gave you, right? And so as you can see, they did really well. So even when we're on our own against those chungas, they did really well. And that's with a crazy armor regen build, right? So we got 1% armor regen there, 2% armor regen coming off of that, and then armor regen coming off of this, and then armor coming off of that to help the regen, right? So that's why we got 1.3. So our crits are good. Crit chance is maxed, basically, right? Because we got the Coyotes mask. And then almost 1.3 million armor, and then 35,000 in armored regen plus 25,000 in heals on top of that gives us 60,000 regen. So pretty cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you with that tonight. So I hope that was a good demonstration and you pulled a lot of value. And then I will see what I can do with coming up with a nice comprehensive build video that will put it all together. I think like one for I think I'm gonna combine sniper rifles and ACR. Assault rifle, sniper rifles, and what you would call it, regular rifles. So do like one video.
You can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Right on, Emil. Welcome to Tux's Players Club, True Bandido level. Nice. Nice. That gives you access to the classified builds, which is a good time to bring it up. So, but I appreciate your support, man. Thank you for supporting me and the channel. It really helps a lot. And hopefully you enjoy the perks. So, of course, that gives you access to classified builds, which are secret builds made just for Tux's Players Club. The latest one being what we call collateral damage. The link to the latest classified build, Emil, this is for you also, is right in the description area of this live stream. So just expand the description area and there'll be a link there that says latest classified build, and it's called collateral damage, which is really fun. It's a merciless build. You guys will have fun with that one. And so yeah, welcome to the Players Club. Also, for all of you guys that are in the Players Club, if you didn't already know, on my homepage, on my YouTube homepage, right at the top is a members only playlist. It's the easiest place to find all of the members only builds and content and streams or whatever, music playlists if you're hardcore, and you can get all of that in one easy place. So just navigate over there. And then don't forget about Discord. There's a private channel on Discord for members, and I would love to have you guys over there. That's where if you have build questions, you want me to pimp your build, that's the best place to catch me. All right, yo, I'll catch you guys on the other side. Laters.
Tuxedo out.